Shalom, y'all. About to get started, all right? It's still going. Bam. All right. That's good enough. I like to start this off by saying, Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? My name is Hayael. I'm back on the San Antonio Riverwalk. We had another lesson to bid Israel back to repentance, right? You got time for the Bible, brother?
Nothing.
All right, now say this, man. You too, man. See how people don't realize, man. All the things that's going on in this world, man. This shit crazy now. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into these lessons today. You know, just waiting on Brother Darren. He got some things going. But in the meantime, you know, I want to bring out a couple of scriptures, right? Because today, we're out here to give a lesson to our people, to let them know, to return unto the Most High God, right? And our objective when we come out is to rebuke our people and to set them straight according to the laws of God.
This is Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
So that's why we're out here. We're out here to let the real Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the diaspora abroad know that we are to be keeping the laws of God, to be calling upon God by his real name, Yahweh, and believing in his son Yahweh Shai as our Messiah, right? And to cast away the foolish wisdom of this world, right? But with that said, you know what I'm saying? We're going to turn it over to my brother, you know, Brother Manawasi, and he's going to go into his lesson, and hopefully y'all edified, right? Whenever you're ready. Yeah, go for it. Just let me know what you want to read.
Give me 1 Timothy 3:16-17. Verse 1.
Let me know when to hit it. Go ahead.
This is 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 16. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, received up into glory.
Yeah, 2 Timothy.
Oh, that's 2 Timothy Salaki. I did first. Salaki. I'm about to say, man, read into a corner, man. I'm
You
glad
said I had you reading in the corner?
yeah, it was the end of the chapter. I was like, man, where you going from here, brother? But hold on, let me get it.
Yeah, 1 Tim 3:16-17.
This is 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, or perfected, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
And here's the cold part, right? I just want to start off by, bringing that out because the issue is, how y'all doing, family? How y'all doing? You got time for the Bible?
Yeah, but we're not the same. Where?
No, thank you. You Hispanic? Yes, sir. You are? Hey, just know the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people on the earth, right? You know what I mean? Nobody else. Give me Deuteronomy 76 real quick. Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? You ever realize why the Hispanics own Texas, they own New Mexico, Arizona, and California? White man came and took it after he enslaved y'all. He enslaved us. He took control of everything, and now blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are looking at the bottom of society. I'm looking at you. You're a young king and got a beautiful family. Everything that we see right here should belong to you. You know what I mean? Your people owned it first. Your people are mighty people. And you got to understand that the reason why we're in the conditions that we're in today, while we're at the bottom bottom, while we have to work 4 or 5 jobs to provide for our family, while we have to worry about gang violence, while we have to worry about people in our family, taking advantage of us, single parent households. All of that is because we sinned against our God, the Most High God. And let me give you one scripture for you. Deuteronomy 7:6.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Unto who?
Unto the Lord thy God.
To everybody.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
No, he chose everybody.
He has chosen thee to be a special people.
Like Hispanics and Native Americans. Go ahead.
Unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, we're equal.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, we're 3/5 of a human.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, we need to go back to our shithole country since Trump's trying to run again, right?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
We got to build a fence to keep the Salvadorians, the Ecuadorians, and all the Central and South Americans, even the Mexicans out. Go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. Now, just to let you know, brother, I know you got to go. Now that's leaving. You're a king on this earth. Right now, we're about to head into the third Wars War, right? The only salvation that you hear about within the Christian church is that salvation is actually speaking of our salvation, our deliberation, because we don't have any economic might, we don't have any military power. But right now, we're in America while a bunch of different countries have their nuclear missiles aimed at America. That salvation that everybody thinks they know they're talking about is actually the salvation of Jesus Christ, as the world knows him, coming down with his angels or chariots, as the Bible lays it out. And what happens is he's going to save us out of our captivity. We're still enslaved. If you look at any other war of any other people group, if they go over to Afghanistan and somebody gets captured and they never get set free, you would still call them a prisoner of war. That's what's happened to us. That's what's happened to you, brother, and the Native Americans. So I want you to have a good day, brother. Take care of your family.
Be blessed,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll reread it. 2 Timothy.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given up by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
And the cool part about this is, and this is why I wanted to have him read that first. I could say whatever I want to say. I could bring out whatever I want to bring out. It's been a lot of things that have been going around as being said. The Most High reserved us for last, the prophets, to let us see that we have done and tried everything and nothing's working, right? He saved us for last because this is the last hope. And if what we say isn't true, which we can clearly see outlined in the Bible, our brothers and our elders bring it out. They've been bringing it out for 20-something years by now, you know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, if you can't see these things, hey, you're just blind. After everything that we done went through, Kemet, Nuwapianism, Pan-Africanism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Egyptology, all these different things that are Ephod, all these things that our people have been getting into, has not led to anything. And part of the reason I'm bringing this out is, there's been a lot of rhetoric. You have your dogmatic doctrines with Islam, all these other people, right? Even Christianity. The cool part is I've seen some of the smartest people that I've ever seen in my life say some of the most idiotic, low scholarly things. And a lot of times they often credit the Bible. They'll say, it's good stories and it has good principles and good morals. A lot of the things that people are talking about today are things that are profitable. Like we're getting back to, nuclear family, or even polygyny, or generational wealth, and these things like that. People are going back to the Bible. They don't even believe in the Bible, but they go back to the Bible. You see what I'm saying? And that's the cool part about it, because that foundation that was laid out was godly. Matter of fact, can you get me it says let's get godly not come to mind.
Oh, yeah.
And Romans.
Yeah, just thinking himself to be somebody, if it be of God. Yeah. Oh, I got it. I'll get it. Keep going.
But, and the thing is, the point I'm bringing that out is, if it be a God, it's going to stand the test of time. If it's a man-made invention, it's going to fade. It's going to rust. It's going to deteriorate. It's going to fade away. It'll make a resurgence, but it's going to go away. See what I'm saying? you know, and the main point is, like I said, I'm bringing out this first and foremost because even if, and this is for people who believe and people who don't believe, right? So people who believe, oftentimes we hear the argument that, oh, well, it's the way it's interpreted. We don't have to do those things anymore. We don't have to look at those things. We don't have to pay attention to those things. Why would we do that? It would put us in bondage and slavery. We know that the yoke that the Most High given us is a light one, right? But you hear a lot of these argumentations, and for the people who do not believe, a lot of it, which is weird. I mean, you can really say that they both don't believe. For the people who claim a different religiosity, like Islam, Judaism, these different things right here, you often hear them say that, okay, we don't really believe that, but it has good principles, good morals, good. You gotta, you know, sometimes you gotta stop and question it and wonder why that is. You know, a lot of these movements that have come since the 70s, they have reinvigorated, rejiggerated the family structure of the household, and a lot of them have come to naught. It's produced worse degeneracy. You know what I mean? You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and bring that up.
This is Acts 5:35. And said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudius, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who were slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against God.
Now, in the court, I mean, there's so much to unpack there, right? And the brother gave out, what was that?
No, I was sorry.
The brother gave out, you know, the context of it. But when you get to the meat and potatoes, you know, first and foremost, if it be a God, you know, it's not going to come to naught. You know, regardless of whatever religiosity or ideology people hold on to, it's a absolute fact that for thousands of years, people have, what is the word I'm looking for? Mapped out the stars, constellations, the travel, directions, yeah, all those celestial bodies, they track these things and they graph it, right? To where you can go on your phone now and just look 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you can tell, you know, what the moon face is going to be. You see what I'm saying? So regardless of all those ideologies, you got to understand if it be of God, it's not going to come to naught. We see all these different, through nature, all these different divine intellectual design. That's not the word I'm looking for. But you do see intellectual design within everything, right? You know that tomorrow, tonight's the sun's going to go down, and then it's going to come up. You never really just went to bed seeing the sun go down, and then it comes up 5 minutes later, unless you're in certain parts of the world. But the whole point is, to be a God, it's not going to come, it's not going to fade away. It's going to be something that does not come to naught. Now, what I was getting to. Oh. Hey, how y'all doing? I got time for the Bible? Nah? Not Hispanic? Not Hispanic? You're white? Well, guess what, brother? The white man is the devil, but blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people on earth. Our kings walking on this earth. You know, those are people, they like to scoff. And then I don't blame them because the white man has done such a good job that even in my own youth likes to make similar jokes about not hating, hating who I was. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the verse the brother read, he said, you know, if we go against that divine ordination, we're essentially going against the Most High. You know, this is when you get into scriptures like Romans 1 where it talks about men and women working things that are unseemly. Now you're going against God. He wanted us to procreate, to continue civilization, and you're going against that divine order as if it's going to be a sustainable way of living for an eternity. It's not, right? And, again, the whole point of me bringing out these scriptures, it's a lot to unpack. But it's crazy. Looking at us, I don't know.
Yeah, his window's down too.
Yeah, he had the window down. Looked like he was looking at us. Possibly, I don't know. But you know, strange area. Somehow, military. We keep finding them in this location. It's crazy. But the point is, I wanted to bring this up because there's been a lot of conversation. I started this lesson a little while ago, but I like to go with current topics and things I'm dealing with weekly, how to apply these scriptures, right? But I kept bringing it to this, and I like to go back to the basics. For a lot of people who don't get it, they don't make the connection with the higher level understanding and wisdom. A lot of our people lack that, right? But, you know, I've been hearing a lot of things, you know, people talking about how we should build communities, black wealth, and you know, we should do this, and we should do this. Matter of fact, give me Matthew 13 and 11, because I got some more scriptures that I want to bring out that's going to speak to this topic. I'm trying to get going quickly.
This is Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 11.
It's like
13 and
13, 11.
This is Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
That was a long bit. Go ahead and
30 and 9.
So the whole, you know, that was a lot to unpack again. You know, the point is, I mentioned some of the things, right? We have been in a position where we've seen, like us growing up, we learned about the Black Panthers. We're learning about Martin Luther King. We're learning about the Brown Berets. We're learning about, you know, the gangs, the Latin Dragons, the GDs, the BDs, the Bloods, the Crips, the BMFs, the cartels, the Level, Leon, the new crew they got out there. But we hear about a lot of these different things. Pablo Escobar. A lot of these, even a lot of these heathens, they glorify our success and wickedness, right? And our attempts to flip things back around and become the hegemony again. Although it be selfish, but a lot of this is we come to a point where we've got like a wide we got like 4D IMAX clarity to see the whole past. You see what I'm saying? And see the prophecies unfold.
Panoramic view.
And this is the scripture that I would advise for any brothers and sisters who panoramic, where you know you get to talking to your family and they just don't see it. They just don't understand. They don't get it. You know, and I just heard who was it? Captain Cesario. He went. He had a debate with a weigh-in with a guy. How you doing, sister? He had a weigh-in with a guy who looks like a Judite or Israelite, and he moved out to the state of Israel to, you know, follow under their laws. And you know how our people get. They learn the language and they think they know something. And the whole time, the brother, he was talking shit about the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't stay on top. He couldn't really defend his point with any scholarship whatsoever. And then every time Captain Cesario kept bringing him to the scriptures, he had to preface it by saying he didn't want to get too deep in. He didn't want to, you know, dive off in it and all these other things. He started talking about people need to practice the Noahide laws, even though he's following the 613, not understanding that part of the quote-unquote debate that they had on their way in was, God is a separatist. They try to call us black white supremacists, which is an unfair point.
But it makes sense.
I mean, you have black white supremacists, right? But the cool part about it is we're nothing like that.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
We're Israelite supremacists.
Right.
I'm gonna be real about it, because
Right.
we are a better people. It shows and it's in the scriptures. But go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Got
mean,
time for the Bible, brother? Couple minutes for the Bible. Chop it up with your brother. All praises, man. Go ahead and hit it, man.
how you doing, bro? You doing all right today? You ever heard of the Hebrew Israelites? The Hebrew Israelites? Ever heard of us? Where you from? California. Okay. You look military. Are you military? I knew it.
The fade on the side give you away.
Nah, for me it's the stature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got a little style, you got the stature. I know when I see it. Nah, long story short, brother, we're out here, we come out every week and tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we're God's true children, right? His only begotten, along with Jesus Christ as the world knows it, right? The people in the land of Israel, according to the Bible, they're imposters. Give me
Revelations 2 now.
you can do that. I want to get Luke 20.
I'll get them both. This is Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Hold on. Now, me and this brother right here, we do say we're Jews, right? You get into some of these scriptures, you got to understand there's a large group of people who consider themselves Jews. Go ahead.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews
When it says blasphemy, that's like an extremely dirty lie, disgusting lie.
and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Now, when it says it's the synagogue of Satan, one thing you can say, satanic is a large-scale gaping thing. We hear about the issues that they had since October 7th when, they're putting tanks on little kids' back, bombing hospitals and things of that nature. Now, I'm not here to discuss those politics. I'm not over there. I don't know what's going on. I just know what I hear, right? But it says that they would be a synagogue of Satan. You go into the history of the people that are in that land today, they have a lot to do with our captivity. When the slave ships came over here, they funded them. In the South, there are a lot of so-called Jewish people who own slaves. A lot of the disgusting things that happen to us, the immoral things that happen to us, the medical apartheid that happened to us, a lot of it came by their hands, right? Especially when you see Kanye and Kyrie talking about, hey, these elite people are doing things to us. They're taking our money. And they look it up, and it's like, okay, well, this person has to be Jewish, this person. But we know the truth of it, right? And the Bible says that they're the synagogue of Satan. Give me that 3 line real quick. Yeah, get to the point where it says they do lie.
Yeah.
This is Revelations chapter 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Now, right there. No matter of fact, you read it. Finish it off.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Now, do you feel like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are loved in this country or anywhere in the world, really? They like what we do. You're in the military. You probably either experienced it or heard about. You go overseas and they just love a black man, a big, strong black man. They love us. But then you see other instances where they treat you differently. They love what you can do for them, but not who you are as a person. You get what I'm saying? And that happens even in our own community with our own women, right? But it says that these groups of people, this is just a parallel scripture I can go to show you that they're lying about who they actually are. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick, and then if you can get there, Deuteronomy 28 after that. 28 and I think it was 48 with a sign.
46.
This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now, again, when you get to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, God said He made us the best people on earth. Let's say it's not us, right? one way you could identify these people is look out and say, you know what, these people are the best at everything. They're the best at swimming, the best at running, the best at jumping, the best at boxing, fighting, soccer, baseball, sex, love,
Cooking.
food, cooking, everything. These people are going to be the best. But give me, matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 28. They should come up very high, we should come down very, very low.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Now, again, when I'm talking about identifying people, go ahead and the whole point is God is telling you who these people are going to be, and you knowing them by their what you call fruit or the characteristics of them. You ever asked yourself, why? How come black people as a whole, if we run so good, play football so good, basketball so good, track so good, Olympics, like you look at Olympics now, it's like some type of person who came from transatlantic slave trade one way or another in every country.
Even Ukraine.
We're just competing against each other at this point. You see what I'm saying? You ever wonder why that is? Like why, how athletically, musically, culturally rich that we are, but we're at the bottom of society. You ever wonder why that is? You ever? I mean, think about it. You know these friends that are like super talented, but they're not super famous. You know a lot of them. Not a lot of them. Why would you say that they haven't like really met their potential? What would be your reason?
Probably not the right exposure.
Probably not the right exposure. That's
I have a question.
That's a damn.
Who do they need to be exposed to in order to make it? Other black people? No.
It's got to be exposed.
So who runs the record industry if we want to cut a record?
Well, we all know.
Yeah, the so-called people that we said are Jews and are not. How about the NBA? Who's the commissioner? Who owns the teams? Same people. You're gonna see no matter where you go, it's always the same.
Hold on, but you say like the same people concerning sports. You got a lot of issues where they come out and they call us nappy-headed hoes. You know, shit like that is very unsavory. I'll say. You know, I don't blame those people for looking at us like that. They're just doing what I believe that they're designed to do. I'll give you an example, right? My child's mother, right? She asked, we don't have the best relationship. She asked me, you know, if you dated somebody and somebody disrespects you racially and they don't do anything, like how would you handle it? How does she feel about it? And I gave her a long answer, but I really should just told her straight up and down, hey, they don't love her. You know what I mean? But I told her like this, I personally believe that if I had a white man, Indian man, Asian man, whatever man, Samoan man, right here that said they love me, if somebody were to come up and call me a nigger to my face, that person, if they love me like they say they love me, they'd be the first one out to take care of that situation. However it is, whether it's talking or something more violent, right? But I also told her, I said, listen, they don't have an obligation to our pain. They haven't dealt with the things that we dealt with, so them calling me a nigga doesn't hit as hard home for them as it does for me. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of pain that comes behind that word. There's a lot of history that comes behind that word. You know, our foreparents died for being called niggers. And, you know, they had to pick cotton until they bled, and you know all these crazy things. You know, had to meet master every Thursday. You know, when the mistress was out, you know, at the market. You know what I'm saying? They had to do things that they weren't proud of. But I told her just like that. So I look at these other nations of people, and I believe that, you know, within their group, they have a right, they're entitled to do whatever they need to do to ensure the survival or the continuance of their one group, right? And what that would look like is like racism. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a job and, you know, all these other people over here are doing well, but my people that I grew up next to live in the hood, or maybe they don't. Maybe they live a great life too. I want to give my people a chance for advancement before anything else. And that's how a lot of these other nations, these other ethnic groups, this is how they operate. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You see what I'm saying? I think it's just that we have an issue with not having enough of that. You know what I mean? We typically like to look out for other people or ourselves before we look out for our own people as a unit. And I'm not saying it's not justified because a lot of our people out here, you did something. Joined the army, got in shape. I'm out here, a little more too many potato chips. You know what I'm saying? But you have other examples of brothers is popping pills and smoking weed all day, chasing hoes all day. So if you had a position, you're in a position to give him a job, I could understand on some level, like, he's not qualified. So I understand that. So this is the plight that we're in. Give me
46.
46.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
It's like, go up to 45.
45?
Yeah.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
Now hold on. There's a person we do our back.
Generally viewed as bad.
Generally, right?
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not.
They said until we be destroyed, it's going to continue to follow us. You ever heard of generational curses? Yeah. What's some generational curses you probably heard about in your family?
I haven't heard too much of my own example. Somebody that has a continuum. That's more hereditary.
I mean, that works too. I mean,
Something like,
Gout.
everybody has heart attacks.
heart attacks, high blood pressure. In my family was like men had a high sex drive, they were whores. You couldn't stay with one woman, which some people might be like, oh, that's a cool thing, but then, in my family they kind of make it look like a stain. Oh, he cheated? Yeah, we already knew, he just like your daddy. That's one thing we have in our family. Selling drugs, poverty, the women having multiple kids, multiple baby daddies, out of wedlock, and all these different things. That's what you call generational curses. And a lot of people that I've talked to, they'll say, the same thing. They'll say, oh, my family, we have a generational curse of, women having 3, 4, 5 baby daddies, a bunch of kids, raising them on their own, and the husband who did stay always dies of a heart attack. I've heard a lot of different stories where it's like that. Diabetes, kids having talent, but never amounted to nothing because they chose the streets over, school and things like that. So, go ahead.
Shall be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servedest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness, and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Now, that said a lot, right? They said that these curses are going to be upon us and our seed, or basically our kids, forever. It's going to chase us, it's going to pursue us, it's going to destroy us, because we didn't serve God the way he wanted, in joyfulness and gladness. You see what I'm saying? Now, you might say, well, I grew up in Southern Baptist Christian Church in California. I don't know. I don't know how they get down over there. Got a lot of churches out there? Yeah? All right, well, you might say, well, I see, grandmama and them, they serve God heavily. But, you still got the cancer, you still got the high blood pressure, had to get your foot cut off, different things like that. The problem is, a lot of our people don't really know how to serve God. You believe in the Bible? You do? Let me ask you, how do you think you serve God?
This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Now, real quick, you think a lot of people out here fear God? Probably not, right? They out here kids, they sliding, they got the switches, they doing all type of craziness. Women, and it's not just our women, it's all types of OnlyFans, X, Instagram, they going crazy. They making millions of dollars, some of them, but all of them is busting it open, and they, you know, it's crazy. Give me 1 John 5 and give me 5 and 3. That's what I want. If not, it might be 3.
This is 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Now, hold on. Go back to 3.
For this is the love of God.
This
that-
is the love of God, right? Now go to 2 and 5.
Sure. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. I think you went 4.
Yeah.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Now, when you talking about knowing God, you talking about loving God, you talk about the whole duty of man, and he's talking about the commandments. Right? You ever been to church? You ever grew up in the church? Yeah. You ever tell you, oh, the Old Testament's done away with. Jesus sacrificed for our sins, blah, 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 blah. God. You heard that? You know what that meant? No, right? They make you pay tithes. Now, you know what's crazy? Let me tell you how your pastor is lying to you. The tithes is not a part of the Ten Commandments, but it is a part of the law. Now, when we hear Jewish people talk about the Torah, we're not Jewish people, we're actual Jews. The first 5 books of the Bible is actually called the Torah. It translates to instructions, right? That's where you find all the laws, the majority of them. You might have a few, where God says, thou shalt, blah, 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 and also Christ gave a few laws as well. But they told you, you don't have to keep the law. You can eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. You can wear whatever you want to do. Just believe on Jesus and ask for forgiveness. But they made you pay tithes. Tithes is part of the law. So if they said the old covenant was done away with, that means you shouldn't have to pay tithes. So they're making you pay tithes for no reason while lying to you about it. And your church might not have been, a mega church where they, pastor riding up in the Bentley and everybody in the house, in the church struggling. But a lot of our people have seen those types of things. The pastor come up and he not
It's a
only
tourist city,
coming
bro.
up, what's up, brother? You got time for the Bible?
I'm on a run, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right. Now, I'm gonna skip past that because I want to mention something. We're trying to get all of our people, Blacks, Hispanics, Native American, men, women, and children. We want to teach them who we are according to the Bible, because once you learn what you have to do and who you are in the Bible, you have responsibilities. We read the whole duty of man is to keep God's commandments. One of God's commandments is not shaving your beard. Now, I know you're in the military. They kind of make y'all do that, and I heard you're stigmatized if you don't. I heard recently they changed some laws about that and all that. Yeah, tattoos. Those are commandments that we're not supposed to get tattoos. We're not supposed to eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. We're supposed to have ribbons of glue on fringes or tzitzits. You see like the little tassels some of the Jewish people wear. Ours are a little more in style because we wear any color. You know what I'm saying? We like to. Hey, if I'm wearing black and red, I want some black and red. I want some gold and burgundy, gold and burgundy. These are things that we consider cultural aspects that God gave to his chosen people, but they're also laws, right? And I just want to give that to you. Now I know that you've done some of these things. Me, myself, I've come from used to shave all it off, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple of tattoos myself. I used to gang bang, I'll do all type of things, you know what I'm saying? What we're doing now is we looked into this book and we see the prophecies are coming to pass. Third World War is coming. We had several military people come here and say, oh, it's not going to happen. We know, just like y'all know. Y'all can't speak on the realness of the matter and the things that y'all know, classified info or whatever, but I'm telling you, we look in this book, we believe it. It says it's going to be a Third World War. We know it's going to be a Third World War. We know who's going to do it, who's going to do what, and when they're going to do it in a matter of speaking, not the time or the day. But we know after certain prophecies happen, hey, guess what? The nukes are coming, right? There's not going to be anything that America can do about it. Part of what we do is we're telling our people to come back to these laws, customs of God. He's going to look at you and say, you know what? This guy right here is sincere. I'm going to forgive him of his past sins. I'm going to wink at him because this guy has changed his whole life right? Now, I'm not telling you to come hang out with us and do what we do. Just look into the information and check it out. If God's chosen people in the land right now, there'll be peace on earth, right? Jesus Christ, people say Jesus Christ is coming back to give kisses and hugs. He's not. He's coming back with chariots of fire. He's going to be killing stuff. It talks about him having so much blood, it's going to be up to the horse's bridle. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things going on in the world. I just want to say, hey, brother, king on this earth, you know what I'm saying? Look into the laws and the commandments, and hey, a lot of these things are clean way of living. You see what I'm saying? We don't eat pig no more. You know, there are a lot of pork worms and all type of stuff in there. You know what I mean? Wrestling one day a week. That sounds good. Now, you're in the military, I don't know if that works for you while you're there. You know what I'm saying? They might have you working 6-7 days a week, doing overtime or whatnot. But if you're working that much, I'm pretty sure one day off sounds good to you. Just put your feet up, just think about God, right? We do high holy days, right? One of the high holy days is fasting. You're a brother that's in shape. You've probably seen that fasting is very good for your health, right? We have a day where we think about the past things that we've done wrong. We fast for that day, we flip our souls, and God looks upon that. We pray that He has mercy on us for the things that we've done and didn't know we did, and things that we know we did, and He can, hopefully forgive us for that. But we also have holidays where we gather together in tents, new moons, every month, basically. Meeting and gathering with your people. Think about if you had a similar function of like Thanksgiving every month, and also separate functions throughout the year. So, but we just want to let you know that, brother. Let you
Yeah,
go.
see, that gets cut off.
We'll leave it with that. Yes, sir.
I remember the sheriff. That's what I was trying to
What's your name?
Isaiah.
Hey,
it's
man, come
Bible.
on, brother. Your name in the Bible, man. God directing your steps. While you go, I'm going to read one thing to you, because you didn't come here by chance.
Right.
Right? We're going to go to Isaiah 30 real quick.
Yeah. 30 and 5?
30 and 20.
30 and 20. Okay.
This is Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 20.
Stay there.
And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not the teachers be, or yet thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. And that's how you found this, brother. You heard somebody preaching, some of your spirit say, you know what, I'ma listen.
Yeah,
Because I saw your body language when I talked to you, you were like,
hey, brother.
you know what, fine, man, I'll listen. But Isaiah, you be safe, brother. Before you go, the real name of God, it's on that flyer. It's Yahweh. Yahweh. And the name of Christ is not Jesus. The letter J is 400 years old. His name is Yahushua. Now you know that, man. Imagine your kids calling you Mister. Imagine your kids going, Mister, I'm hungry. Give me some juice. Give me some, food. You'd be like, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm your dad. That's what you calling God every time you call him God. His name is Yahweh. When you pray, you face the east, take your shoes off, and leave your head uncovered. Yahweh. All right? All praise. Be safe, Isaiah. All praise.
That's a beautiful thing, man, because we are here for our community. We're out for the elder men, the younger men, the men are of our contemporary. Unfortunately, the young brother didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of, we know what's going on, right? And I had a conversation with my younger cousin at one time, right? He had aspirations of being, he had already started his own gang, but he had aspirations to be part of a previously formed gang, right? And part of the conversation got to family, right? He said, nobody care about it. Nobody came to check on me, nobody came to save me, and these things like that, right? And it was kind of like, well, bro, us younger ones, when we young, we're not worried about that type of stuff. We're worried about, shorties. We chase the tail. We're worried about gang beef and all kind of weird stuff. We're not worried about the older people in our family. We're not making points to make sure they ate the day. And in my family, it was mostly women. And the men was severely outnumbered. So even more so, for us to have an emphasis to protect the women in our family. But at the same time, it was kind of like a responsibility that was laid upon us because there weren't any older males around. And the older males that were somewhat around, they just weren't good examples of what a strong male should be. You see what I'm saying? But they barely were around, to be honest with you. Yeah, I said 30 and 9.
That's why you said stated. Okay, cool. I was like, what?
This is Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy.
Now, the point is, I'm bringing this out because, and that's through the Spirit, because that young brother didn't have any time for us. Now, like I was saying, I'm a little under the weather, right? So I'm, trying to stay focused. But the point is, that young brother, he passed us up. He's more worried about what he's got going on their phone. He's probably about to go kick it with his friends. He's not really knowing nothing. And this is the relationship that we have built amongst our community, to where they don't reverence or show any respect to older men, the men of older generations. The only time you get that respect is when you're putting belt to ass. You're using murder out here. When you're a high-level degenerate out here. When somebody sins can speak to your sins and they can resonate with each other, then people have respect to you. But only so far, right? And it's unfortunate because in a day and time like this, when we have the cops put knees on our necks and clips in our back, we need to be at a point with one another to say, hey, brother, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need anything, young brother? And we need to be in a position of, if we are asked anything like that, we're honest enough, forthcoming enough to respond with an adequate answer, but also move appropriately. Because sometimes the people that help us need help themselves, right?
Come. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get ye out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression, and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel, that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shard to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. For thus saith Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not.
Now, this is deep, right? And I didn't want to really just kind of rail on that dude. I understand, right? But this goes into another level, like I said, with us providing these scriptures, right? With the people who believe and people who don't believe, these scriptures are profitable for edification, for proof in the matter of a lot of things, right? It's the measuring stick. It's the belt that's on your ass. It's that two-edged sword that's piercing your heart and your spirit. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of different things. It's the playbook. They always say, there's no book written on how to be a parent. Yes, it was. You see what I'm saying? It was given to us. You see what I'm saying? But part of the plight of our people is they don't know anything and don't want to know anything. And I really want to go in on this point. I'm going to stop here. Hope God, most high willing, next week I can pick up and I'll have an expanded lesson. Because I do have a lot more scriptures, but I can go in on that point. Because that's one point that I get so mad about with our people, right? They choose ignorance, and it's so crazy to me. You know what I mean? At this point in time where knowledge has increased, the spirit has been placed on all of us. When I was speaking about Captain Zaryak and the Judite brother, looks like, who moved to Israel to follow under their ways, the level of ignorance is crazy. And I know the Most High touched him. Because right at the end of the live, somebody put a comment, I think Captain Zaryak read it, and said that he used to be a Hebrew Israelite, and then he found Judaism. And he was up there talking about, we're pushing white supremacy, but he was literally falling under those people, pushing their doctrines. You see what I'm saying? And not just one, but several of them. And it's crazy to me because that's exactly what we're talking about. Brother came on there telling him he's specifically special. And he's basically clapping back like, I don't want to hear nothing, I don't want to see nothing. Captain Zerg's going through the Torah. You's a Jewish dude. That should be the biggest foundation on you. But he's talking about Mission and Gomorrah, and I got to speak on some Christians too, because on Facebook they're talking about they had to go to some white man's book outside of the Bible, and I said to prove the Hebrew Israelites wrong. And I said, why not just use the Bible? And they thought they said some hot shit. One of the dudes was like, yeah, because they can't handle it. It's too much truth. What the fuck? I mean, excuse my language.
But we go into them books all the time and prove that we're the Israelites in their own books.
Right.
We go into the Talmud all the time to prove that we're the Israelites.
Come on, but
Man,
it doesn't make sense. It's like if the thing that you're talking about is your authority, why are you going outside of something else to make that the authority over the thing that you claim is your authority? It's the same with their doctrine with Christianity. They believe in Christ, but Paul's above Christ, and then all these, like, it falls right in line. And we know that the heathens, it was not given to them. Our people are in the willful, ignorant state where I don't want to hear nothing, I don't want to see nothing, I don't want to, they're doing this right here, la, 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 la. And this craziness. But I'm going to stop there, and I want to get back to that next week. I want to go deep into that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to pass the mic. Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh. Signing off, passing the mic to the brother Ayahel.
all right, brother. Hey, man. Good to see you. Let me know if you need anything. Hey, so my loan, I got to put down a loan for $3,000 a couple extra months. Yeah, so I got to make sure I pay that back. But I got the money to pass it, so you don't. We'll get it. We'll get it. No, I got you. I got you, man.
We're going to talk, though.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, man, we're gonna continue on in the spirit, man. You know, Brother Mono off the set brought it out mighty in the spirit, man, and we got a little fruit here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that young brother couldn't stop, but hey, man, it's like I say every week, man. We about to get into them days where not having this knowledge, man, you gonna pay for that shit hard. But let's go ahead and get started again. Let's get started again with my lesson. Brother, have a good night at work, man. Name it how it shine. All praise. But, so we gonna go ahead and get into the lesson, right? Because the theme of my lesson today is that the machinations and designs of our enemies are all around us. How are our people not aware? Right? They're literally everywhere now. You have legislation being passed in Canada to designate the Bible basically as a hate speech book. And the way that they're trying to do that is by pulling some of the protections that were provided to so-called Christians or Bible believers that made them exempt to certain facets of their hate speech laws, right? So if I were to tell, say, a homosexual that the Bible says that a homosexual should be put to death and they should repent, that's constituted now as hate speech up in Canada. See, what a lot of folks don't realize here in America is Canada is America's little brother. So what they pass up there is coming down here. Everything except for healthcare and free college, right? But let's go ahead and slide into this lesson. And I got a few more examples of some of the things that they're doing to further, like, you know, like spread this net around us and trap our people up. Now we're gonna go to Jeremiah 44. We're going to go to Matthew 24 and 22, because we need to understand the prophecy that our Messiah left us, right? Because that's one thing for certain. We're not guessing at anything. Brother Manawashi has said, we ain't guessing at nothing. We know what's going to come next in sequential order, albeit we don't know exactly when everything is going to happen, right?
This is Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 2. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down.
So, Yahushua was making the prophecy that in Judea, it was going to be completely decimated. Now, we are not currently in Judea, but this prophecy still applies, because we are in the land of our captivity, right? And Babylon is going to be thrown down with great violence and purged with fire.
Verse 3, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And we're seeing that happen. Over in the land of Israel today, they have a so-called Messiah that has risen up amongst their ranks. And they've extolled him on a high pedestal simply because he can cite the Torah. But the reality is, can he break down the scriptures? If you were to go to Deuteronomy 18, where it talks about a prophet being raised up like Moses, and if we didn't believe in him, then basically it would count against us, right? We would perish. Could he break that down? The reality is he probably can, because he has to attribute that prophet to himself, and he is a false Messiah. How you doing, brother? You got time for the Bible today?
We good, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Now say it.
Yeah, come on.
How you doing, sister? Got time for the Bible? A couple minutes? You a Princess of Zion, the Mexican woman. She is an Israelite. So is the Mexican man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are the people of the Bible. That's why no matter how hard you work, the white man turns around and calls you lazy. That's why this land is called Texas and not Mexico. But see, as long as we don't keep God's laws, this is how it's going to stay, y'all. See, that sister, she didn't want to talk to me, man. It's funny, man. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, they'll walk by us preaching. They'll pretend like they don't see us. Meanwhile, the white man looking at us every time they hear this Bible come out. Because they know that when we start getting out to these corners, raising our people up, their kingdom is numbered. See, that's why you got leaders over in Israel today saying that the biggest threat to Israel are young black males. Meanwhile, we don't have an army. We don't even have cohesion amongst our own people. But yet, we're the biggest threat to them. Why is that? Because we're not the only ones aware of the prophecies in this book. That's why. But moving on with the lesson. Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing homelessness explode in the United States. We're seeing a border crisis within the United States that might be the factor that precipitates the invasion and downfall of America. Because the people coming through the southern border to the United States are not just so-called Mexicans, Central Americans, and South Americans. Most of them are people from China, from Libya, from nations that do not have good rapport or a good reputation with America. In other words, America is being silently invaded by her enemies. Now, I have to say this as a man because I just had a white woman kind of nod at me, acknowledging what's going on at the border. But I could say it can't happen soon and fast enough to stop the people raping, robbing, and destroying his Israelite people. It can't happen fast enough. See, they think that we're standing on the same ground, shoulder to shoulder, willing to defend America. See, God's chosen people, we're crying out to the Most High God to destroy this place. And that's exactly what's happening. But we're witnessing the steps take place for that to happen. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. This right here is going to get you a death sentence one day, preaching the word of God. See, that's why I always give a warning to brothers who attend camp, and they seem like they're interested in doing this. You're going to have to get used to being hated of all people, including your own family. Because many blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are willing to fight and die in order to keep America running, instead of letting this place fall as they should. Verse 10, And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
And that end is coming really soon. See, one of the other things that's taken place recently is Vladimir Putin is now putting nuclear missiles up in orbit around the earth. See, most Americans are not aware of what's going on in relation to America's adversaries and enemies. They're not aware. See, we have to bring this news to our people because many of our people have become comfortable here in Babylon, not understanding that this place is ripe for destruction. You got time for the Bible today? You sure, brother?
Yeah, we're all set, thank you.
You know the Bible says the white man is the devil on the earth, right? See, that's the sad part. But if I was handing out fried pork chops and buckets of fried chicken, he'd be up here. So that's the sad part about our people. That's why the first order of Nat Turner, when he did his slave rebellion, was to purge our people of the coons who hate their own and prefer the slave master over their own people. See, I say it at least once every month. You give a black man sexual access to a white woman and he's completely castrated. He will no longer stand up for his own people. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. He'll stand up against his people. He'll sell his own people out. See, the sad part is, she could be your concubine, but don't make her your wife. The lowest woman on the planet, don't make her your wife. But see, only the black man, you have to explain this to ad nauseum. And then we turn around and we point the finger at our own people and we say they're destroyed. But we never take count of how we became that way. And part of the way that we became destroyed was just rampant betrayal. See, it's in the spirit that brother walked by. That hatred that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have for one another. We see it play out day in and day out. And sometimes that hatred is expressed as subtly as saying, no, thank you, brother, I'm going with my white woman to do other things. I don't have time for you, or to talk about the issues with our people. Not understanding that in the time to come, she's going to go back to her own people and leave you assed out. But let's get back to this. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world, for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. That abomination of desolation was the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, the second temple, to be specific. But we're about to see another abomination of desolation. We're going to see the destruction of America in her entirety. Because this land is going to be purged by fire. See, there's a reason why we talk about World War III and nuclear war ad nauseum. Because that is one of the prophecies that have to play out before the end truly comes. And we can truly be saved. Because the Israelite diaspora here in America, in North America, we're going to be saved out of this place should we turn back and keep God's laws. But that's only going to happen when World War III is at a fevered pitch and nuclear war begins. See, until all those things take place, we're going to be here. That's why we're trying to tell our people to get right now. Because the more of our people that turn back and keep the laws, the more of the elect that are sealed, and the closer we get to getting out of here. Verse 16, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So we're about to see tribulation on this planet, the likes of which has never been witnessed by any group of people on the planet. And considering that the Israelites have gone through the worst treatment of any people group on this earth,
if it supersedes chattel slavery, if it eclipses all of the other slaveries and captivities that we've gone through in the past, and the rigor that we've served under, I can only imagine the hardship and brutality that we are going to endure here, that we must endure through in order to be saved.
Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So the Most High God is literally shortening the days for our sake. And it's not even a surprise when you look at the news that's coming out. Just on my way to camp today, I saw a small little update by a brother from GMS, I believe. And he was talking about how they're making protein-based rice. Basically, they've spliced meat and rice together. See, no one's asking, why are Bill Gates and all of his subsidiaries making all of this fake and franken meat? Why are they making it? But see, your enemy, the so-called white man, is not going to tell you that he ain't got it no more. That famine is right around the corner. And before you know it, you're going to be eating cricket flour meal. You're going to be eating mealworms. See, all of these things, they're advertising as an option. Human-grown lab-grown human meat. Got to say it right. Because that might tie into another abominable dietary item that they're creating. You got to say it right. So they're now cultivating human cells to make meat out of in laboratories. Again, why are they doing all these things? That's because famine is coming to America. And we're trying to tell blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians to turn back to their God because they are the rightful Israelites.
Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not, for there shall rise many false Christs.
Oh, I think I turned an extra page, Salakia, y'all. Pages are stuck together.
There shall rise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before.
So we've been warned of these things before. We've been warned of all of these false Christ and false messiahs that are going to start rising up, declaring themselves to be the Messiah. And they're going to come in many different names, whether it be Jesus, Yeshua. They're going to come under many banners of doctrine. They're going to have a false Messiah coming for the so-called Jewish people. See, they have their own version of Yahawashi that they're trying to cobble together too. It's just not going to work because it don't line up with Scripture. And not to mention, he's not the authentic Messiah. But you have many, some even Israelites professing to be Christ. And many who believe on them. See, that's why Yahawashi had to put us up on game and say, hey, look, when you hear about these false messiahs, don't believe it. Because when he comes back, every eye shall see him. But let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to Matthew 24 and 34 to 42.
This is Matthew 24 and 34. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass, till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away.
So the words that Yahawashi spoke unto us in regards to the prophecies that would befall the Israelites and the earth itself, and all the people therein, those words are still playing out to this day. We're seeing all these prophecies still playing out. See, that's why we're going out to the highways and byways and warning our people. Because they read this book and they think the words in it are dead, befitting a people of antiquity that no longer exist. Not understanding when Yahawashi said, and I'm going to reread it.
verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. When he said that, he meant all the people of the earth are going to die out, right? The Israelites aren't going to cease to exist before these words play out. Because as we know, the generation that lived back then did in fact die, and Yahushua has not returned. But the reality is that these words were to be kept in perpetuity from generation to generation. See, that's why it's very important to understand what's said in this book. And majority of our people don't have a clue what's in this book. Got a brother walking up. Y'all got time for the Bible today? Couple minutes? Y'all say, got time for the Bible, brother? Not right now? You from the Caribbean, brother? Where you from? You from here? You a Negro? Did you know you in the Bible? So you an Israelite? Okay, we'll keep the laws, brother, so we can get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you're an Israelite, man, that's half the battle, man. You got to keep the law. Keep the commandments. And if you know all these things and are capable of teaching them, you need to be on these corners, man, helping your people wake up. But moving on. This is Matthew, chapter 32. Salakia, chapter 24, and verse 35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So the day when the final judgment is going to take place, when the Messiah is going to be sent back to gather the elect, and to have the tares gathered and be burned. That day is known of no man, nor the angels in heaven, nor the Son himself, but only of the Father. But that day is swiftly approaching, because we see all the signs that would basically precipitate that day. We see them taking place in quick succession. Verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man also. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, unto the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So just as the people of the earth scoffed, ignored Noah, didn't want to hear anything he had to say, they laughed saying, hey man, what are you talking about? Rain? What is that? Flooding the earth? Man, you crazy. But when that water started falling, they were beating on that ark to get in, and they couldn't. Right? Verse 40, then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. So we're trying to tell our people, hey man, you don't know when the Messiah is coming back. You don't know when the final judgment is going to be enacted. Because once that final judgment is enacted, hey man, the time for repentance is over. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a whole lot harder to repent when us brothers are not on this corner giving our people the lowdown on how to repent, the name of God, where to turn to in order to get this knowledge. See, the famine of the word is going to come before the absolute end. So there's going to be a duration where it's just going to be nothing but hardship out here with no light at the end of the tunnel. And many of our people are going to perish during that time, only to be brought back for the final judgment and put down in the second death. But let's keep moving. So we're going to go ahead and go to Daniel chapter 8 and verse 21 through 25. Right? Because we have to understand that the designs of our enemies are all around us, and we've been given this information through the prophets to make us aware of the things that are coming on the earth. This is Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now, this is talking about a vision that Daniel saw, or I'm sorry, he was interpreting for Nebuchadnezzar, right? Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. Actually, let me make sure this is the right king, because I could have sworn it was Nebuchadnezzar. It's a lot. It's locked. I just don't want to get that wrong, because then I'm going to have to put a note in my video. Alright. Yeah, this ain't Nebuchadnezzar. This is, I think it's Darius, actually. Yeah. So this is a dream that Darius had, right? And basically Daniel's interpreting the dream. See, the one thing that Daniel was known for was having knowledge beyond knowledge, right? Because the worldly knowledge to the Most High God is foolishness. And when a dream comes to a king or a member of high positioning, it's very important that it be interpreted correctly, right? So Daniel was interpreting this dream of all these different animals fighting one another, slaying one another in a certain succession. And when it came down to a rough goat with a horn between its eyes, that basically had killed a goat with one horn that was higher than the other, right? That was the Grecians taking down the Persians and the Medes, who had taken down the Babylonians. See, and those Grecians are who you would call today so-called white people, because that horn is Alexander the Greek. But I'm gonna reread it. Alright? Glad I got that cleared up. This is 10, 8 and 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom. Actually, Salaki. This is verse 22. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So when that one horn was broken, you had 4 horns, or 4 powers, or 4 kings that stood up. So we see that lines up with Alexander the Greek. He had his 4 tetrarchs stand up, and they divided his kingdom amongst themselves and put crowns on themselves and their sons. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressions are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Now this is talking about America, right? Because if you understand how America has oppressed the holy people, yes, America has done a disproportionate amount of oppressing blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the real Israelites. They've done a disproportionate amount of that themselves. But in the modern day, America's power comes by way of their kinship with other nations. The global body known as NATO is the seat of power in which America governs the world. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And that's one thing that America does all the time. They say peace, peace. But as the Bible says, despite them crying out peace, there is no peace. If y'all are Native Hispanics, just know y'all in the Bible. Y'all Israelites. All praises. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. This is literally talking about this nation opposing the Messiah upon his return. Now, if you understand that in the Bible, it says that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. That new beginning under Jacob is going to be the rulership of Yahweh Shai, the man that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But the Bible lets us know outright that the so-called white man's kingdom is going to be in rulership upon the earth when the Messiah returns. And they're going to stand and literally try to fight the Messiah. That's why you have programs here in America like Project Bluebeam. See, again, by their craft and their sorceries, their power has prospered throughout the earth. That's why they've grown very arrogant in thinking that no one can oppose them. not understanding that they are going to be broken without hand. And that breaking of this nation is going to happen through the judgment that's going to befall this nation. Verse 26, and the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted. It was 6 certain days. Afterward I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. So when Daniel had this, and actually, Salaki, I was wrong. Daniel wasn't interpreting a dream. That was early. Salaki, right? But this was a dream or a vision that he had. And his interpretation of this vision left him shaken in his spirit. So much so that you'll read on later in Daniel where Daniel is literally visited by an angel, right? When he has other visions, when he has other wisdom come to him of the Most High God, that leaves him very shaken and in a low place. But see, the reality is that Daniel was shown things that we now see happening plainly upon the earth. We see the things that are happening and transpiring between governments on the planet. And we see that World War III is on the cusp of occurring. As a matter of fact, many world leaders are already saying that World War III began months ago. But the reality is it has not yet reached a crescendo or a fevered pace, although it will in due time. And that's why we're telling our people to repent now, that they need not fret in order to try to get ready when that time has long since passed. Right? Let's go ahead and turn to Psalms 83, because that craft that they've caused to take hold of the earth, that they've utilized to allow their power to flourish, right, has cut us off from being a people, though we stand on our feet, newly risen by our God breathing life into us. Right? This is Psalms. Actually, yeah. This is Psalms 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee hath lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. That's that craft that has prospered in their hand, right? One of the things that craft was intended to do was hide who the real Israelites were, or are, right? Because we never cease to exist as God's people, although the world is not knowledgeable of us as God's people. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against them. And that's where it goes off into listing the nations, right? But the reality is all these heathen have come together, they clicked up, and even so, every year, they still hold meetings where the most important people, the most authoritative players in this game, come together to discuss matters such as, how do we keep these Israelites in captivity? How do we keep their heritage in our hands and out of theirs? Again, that's why the leadership of Israel, they're not worried about the enemies round about. Because see, they understand that they're Esau in the Bible. And if they're going to be taken down, it's not going to be by any type of weaponry, because the sword is their blessing. They're worried about the real Israelites taking their kingdom from them, according to the scriptures. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. See, this is something blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians have to understand. You have no friends. Hey, what's up, Tim? So the same people who've been raping, robbing, and killing us for 500 years, they still hate you today.
See, that's why we have to keep explaining to our people ad nauseum, right? Over and over and over again, that they are in fact the Israelites, and you do in fact have enemies that have cut you off from your real heritage. Right? Actually, I don't want to jump the gun. I almost spoiled my own lesson. But we're going to go ahead and slide over to... We're going to go to Luke 21 and 12 through 18. And this is restating what I read in Matthew 24. Right? But I'm reading it here just to go over a small bit of it and also to demonstrate that the words of Christ are spoken of in multiple books in the New Testament. And sometimes they cross-reference one another by covering the same material. This is Luke, chapter 21 and verse 12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. So all the brothers and sisters who've come into this truth, all the brothers and sisters who don't want to take the mark of the beast, which is coming, and absolutely refuse under any circumstance, many of you are going to be brought before leaders. You're going to be brought before the high churches of these heathen, their pagan temples, their governments, their who's who amongst people. And they're going to demand an answer of you. And you're going to be hated for the testimony of Yahushai's sake. You're going to be hated for the gospel's sake. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And that knowledge, those words to speak, are right here in the Bible. Right? Because if you're aware of these prophecies, you're aware of the judgment and the condemnation of these heathen, and you're aware of the glory to come, you have absolutely no reason to fear the persecution of those who rule over you today. Because the rulers of today shall be made the molehills and the foothills of tomorrow. Verse 16, and ye shall be betrayed, both by parents and brethren, and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. I had to reread this portion, right? Because it has to be made perfectly clear that our adversaries are planning to round up those who have this truth. Did you know they've kept a database on those who buy Bibles and give them out? They actually keep information on who's buying Bibles because they know that the children of Israel, they need a soul. So if you want to find out who's going to be armed with this knowledge, why not look for the knowledge and where it's at in the book? And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Y'all got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes?
Not right now, sir. Thank you.
Do y'all know what tribe y'all come from in the Bible?
I know it all too well.
Do you? What tribe you come from, Elder? Can't answer, I know. And I have to say it while our elders are here. When you look in the ghetto, you're the reason why it's destroyed. You are. Because you ain't got nothing to teach nobody. You ain't got no time for nobody. But let Big Mama be laid up in the hospital. Let you have a heart attack tonight. You be crying out for white Jesus. And that ain't even his name. Tell me, I know it all too well. Elder, you don't know a damn thing. Walk around with stuff you bought on the Sabbath. Today is the Sabbath. See, the lunar Sabbath now overlays with the Friday, Saturday Sabbath. So ain't nobody got no excuses.
if you an Israelite and you out here buying and selling. See, our elders don't realize, man, when that judgment come down and befall them, don't cry out to the same God that you give your ass to kiss. Don't cry out to him. Because he gonna tell you to go cry out to those gods that you are so fervent in serving. I almost want to grab that in Judges 10, but I'm gonna let it go. So I want to get this lesson done, right? But this is Luke chapter 21 and verse 13. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. See, it's going to turn to us for a testimony. Now, if you're not familiar how a testimony is made, you have to spill blood to give a testimony. You can't just give an account. That's different from a testimony. Where can you find that at? That's in Hebrews. I'm going to read that real quick. Right? Because what Yahushua was really telling them was, if you endure unto the end, you're going to have to give a testimony. And you're going to spill blood for it. See, and again, I have to ask, you think that elder is prepared to give a testimony on anything? No. Because he don't even know to keep the basics of the commandments. See, if somebody told me I didn't know the real name of my Messiah, I would have another set of time to set aside for that. I would have another little block of time that I would clear in my schedule, because that's very important. But see, that's why when we look at our communities, nothing is fixed and everything is run down. Because nothing is important to a so-called black man, except for fulfilling his own lusts. But let's get this about the testimony real quick. All right? No, I'm too far. Yeah, there it is. Man. This is Hebrews 9 and 16. For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator. So, if there's a testament, the death of the testator, the person giving the testimony, must be present also. So if it's going to turn to me and you for a testimony, what does that mean? You're going to die for this. That's what it means. That's why it says you have to endure unto the end to be saved. Doesn't it say in the Bible that you have to love your life unto death? Or love not your life unto death? You have to be willing to lay your life down. And what greater love is there than a man willing to lay down his life for his people, for his friends? That's why Yahushua said, the actions that you've seen me do, you shall do greater. Why is that? Because you're going to live a longer life. You're going to come through the regeneration. Then you're going to go through Jacob's trouble. You don't get to just be crucified and it ends. Many of our people are going to die, but many of our people are going to survive this thing. And that means you're going to have to be willing to stand before the presidents, the fake J's, almost said the J word, right? So it's going to get my video taken down again. But you're going to have to be willing to stand before kings and give a testimony. And that means after you speak the words that the Most High God gives to you, chances are they're going to cut your head off. But you got to be ready for that. You got to be willing to do that. And most of our people aren't ready to do that. You know that better than I do, sister. Most blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, they won't stand up for nothing. How you doing, brother? You know who you are in the Bible, brother? Do you care about the Bible at all? I have a question, though. This land is called Texas, right? Don't this land belong to your people?
Native.
So I have a question. Why is it that this land don't belong to your people?
It was voted upon to start a colonization and civilization. Basically, what it is that they put a value on something without these people seeing it at the same value. So they were appreciating it because that's why they were praying to each God, you know. So when they saw that, how can you put a value on something that God provided for us? They took away the value of it.
So in other words, the white man took it. Well, yeah, he did. Because private, like you just said, private ownership was not a concept.
Well, they're from
amongst
Latin.
men, right?
They're Latin.
Yeah, but what you're saying, private ownership was not something that he knew about, right?
Something like that.
Right. But the Bible says that through craft or craftiness, they would cause their power to prosper in the hand.
Right. And the Bible also is hierarchy.
That's right.
Father, the Son, and then He draws. Right? But it also says in the Bible, why your enemies they will come over here and destroy your people without having the military or even food in your people. It's all in here.
Like that. You know, it has a generalization of more or less, but it's not just on point because it's like it's a cycle. Scientology is a cycle, right?
This ain't about Scientology.
What is
This
it a
very-
cycle?
No, this is very.
The belief of Scientology is a cycle,
Are
right?
you a Scientologist?
Right. And so basically what it is that they believe in cycles. You know, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You know, so basically there's a cycle. And so with that being said, it's just a basic instruction before leaving Earth so that way you can have a positive outlook on what's going on.
This Bible literally says that God hates people.
Right.
The white man in particular, the nation of Esau. I have a question. How can you believe in Scientology and sign a contract for 1 billion years, but yet you throw this book away?
Right. It's not throwing the book away. It's just saying that it's not facts.
How is this not facts that Scientology is? When this literally talks
You believe in that book.
Yes.
It was like a goddamn, what are you, a Christian?
No.
Catholic? What are you?
I'm an Israelite.
What's that do?
That's the people who descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This book is a heritage.
Okay, so with that being said, who fucking got that voted for that to be happen for that to happen?
Voting for what then?
For all the fucking you know, it was released in what 1500s for the New Testament. Before that, it was spoken about and everything, where he was gonna come back for his people and everything, right?
I mean, the date is not correct, but more or less.
I mean, it was released.
1611 is what you're saying. 1611 KJV. But you have the New Testament written in Greek as well. So,
Was it from Greek? Is from Romans?
yeah. Well, I mean, Greek is the Romans spoke Greek as well because they took over the Grecian provinces. So, but it was written in Latin. You could say it. That's what the Greeks said.
Right. And so how can we fucking live at that long and for it to come out the way it came out?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The only reason why.
Right. It's a generalization.
No. Hold on. The reason why it was written in Latin and Greek was because our people were enslaved to the Romans. And before that, we were enslaved to the Greeks. And they were trying
But your interpretation, my interpretation, and the next 2 generations are going to be a different interpretation.
Correct. And guess what? My interpretation is not based on my mind. It's based on the Bible.
I can't change it, believe me. That's the truth. You know, I mean, as long as you feel in your heart that you know what's real, I can't change that.
I get that. But I have a question. So how close does Scientology get your people to getting out of the slavery and the bonds?
Well, how are you going to say that Revelations is fucking goddamn, in the myth? If
I didn't say Revelation is good.
you don't think so?
No,
You don't think it's almost the end?
Because Revelation is a book.
You don't think it's almost the end?
Now, are the prophecies taking place? Sure.
So that's a cycle.
When did World War III happen?
It's already happened.
When?
It's already happened. That's why it's brief.
But you're saying it happened. I'm asking you when.
Right. So it's not 2023 years or 24 years ago, right? So what year are we in? You know, it's a pattern of behaviors that's happened over a series of, and so basically what happened was they voted upon, you know what, we see this cycle that was going on, and we're trying to goddamn, instead of everybody just killing and going at each other, we're trying to lead them in a positive direction, so that way they can all get along and living on earth.
The Bible literally said that God divided the nation.
Heaven on earth.
No, he doesn't even want the other nations to have a part in heaven.
Other nations?
Yeah, like heathen, people who aren't Israelites. The kingdom of heaven is literally for the Israelites and them only. The other nations are going to serve as slaves in that kingdom. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. You got to actually read this book.
Oh shit, I went to time to pay attention. I read that pretty good. And basically what happens is, how did gravity become, off of the sun?
I mean, gravity is supposed to be done by mass.
I mean, it has to have a metal or something that's, gravitational, where it has a cycle.
I give you.
See what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a kind of weird argument where it's like, even the planets show you that there's a cycle. That's why all the other planets are not livable. And I mean, at one time, I'm pretty sure they were.
I
I'm not saying that there's
Right.
no cycle. I'm not saying there's no cycle. But what I am saying is the universe as we know it, there's no way to determine if it's billions of years old.
And how can you say that they're Israelites and it could be it's a possibility that there's beings out of space or whatever you want to call that?
Because it's about genealogy. We descend.
So only Earth is what is it called? Meets the criteria?
I have to ask you, what other criteria do you have, brother?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, because haven't you seen the pyramids and everything else?
I have, and I know who built those people
Who's
on
that?
the pyramids. The same people who built the pyramids down in Mexico, the ones in America too.
And what
The
about on
Native
the moon?
Indians, the Mexicans, the blacks.
What about on the moon?
I mean, well, if you look in the book of Sirach, it talks about the angels of the Most High God using the moon as a base.
Hurry up, wait.
So they probably
Wait,
do.
wait.
But my question is, how do you then go and say that this is a cycle that's been done over and over everywhere else?
Right, because you can't just count Earth if that's the case.
Okay, I get that. But what evidence do you have?
What I'm saying is that then that's the case, because there's also have been fucking shown existence that there's life out there. You know what I mean?
Not
That's-
really, brother.
I mean, you haven't seen it for yourself, but they have shown, certain things where, what is it called, hieroglyphs? Okay, they show certain things, but those are also scare tactics for the other tribes and stuff like that, So I understand where you're all like, well, they were trying to survive, but at the same time, it's like from the beginning all the way to the end, and they're only taking these people. I mean, how is that possible if, Jesus came and win?
Jesus didn't come for everybody.
Right, Jesus
Can I
came
read
win.
something to you?
Jesus came win.
He came in about what, like 180? I mean,
So you believe that he came for his people?
Yeah. Well, he came to lay down his life to basically use his blood to purchase the new covenant. The new covenant just hasn't been fulfilled yet.
Right.
Because under the new covenant, I wouldn't have to teach you what your heritage is.
You don't have to.
For instance, like down in New Mexico, do you know what the Decalogue stone is?
No, I don't.
It's a stone that y'all have that has the Ten Commandments on it and the real Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Because you come from the tribe of Issachar if you happen to be Mexican. And Issachar in the Hebrew means he is higher.
So you're telling me that it's not a replica?
No.
It's an original?
Yeah. Because all they do is inscribe it on the rock. Now, can you replicate it? Sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
But here's the thing, though. Why, if y'all
Wouldn't
make,
it be the Israelites that have all the keys?
well, I mean, if you mean like the language and the heritage and stuff like that, yes. But guess what? The Mexican man is an Israelite. Isn't that too?
That were German.
How? Okay, I've never heard that. The Mexican man was German?
Right.
Because the people in Germany today, their ancestor named Colonimus came from Italy. They compose what's known as Ashkenazi Jews today.
Right. And so who sent them people over here?
Oh, I mean, when the white man came out of the caves in 429 AD, he started moving west. Are you aware that the people ruling in Europe are so-called black people?
I don't, but I know that there was like black people in like England and stuff like that, and you know how you're saying with the Europeans and all that stuff. What I'm saying is, it all determines on the longitude, latitude, and where you're at on the hemisphere.
In relation to your color?
Yeah, because
That's not
if
true.
you're up north, you're more white.
Well, how about
If
this?
you're in the middle, you're in the Mediterranean. What is it called, the equator? You're darker.
But that's what the white man told you, because why are there Eskimos who are darker than both me and you up north?
I've never seen it. I mean, that's
Look
what
at the,
they do.
they're called
That's
the,
what they do.
yeah, they're called the Inuit. Inuit.
Maybe they moved up.
No, they're the same people who are the North American Indians here. The plains of the North American Indians have extended all the way into Canada. They're the same people. That's why I have to ask you, if it depends on the altitudinal location for your color and your pallor, why are they still darker than us? Did you know there are black Russians called the Abkhazians? Yeah, I'll just say this, brother. Look into this,
I mean,
man.
I'm pretty sure that there's a mixed race, and I'm pretty sure that they've all come across each other and everything. But for certain reasons, it's like, how can they all stem from a certain fucking place if Adam and Eve don't say, they're not Tyrone and motherfucking goddamn Felicia,
But here's the thing.
You know?
Adam and Eve weren't the first people in the Bible.
I know, that's the new fucking that
No, no, no.
colonization.
So before Adam and Eve,
Adamu, yeah, colonization.
nations were created on the 5th day.
The deity.
And then on the 7th day, Adam was chosen and then Eve was made.
Right. Deities, though. Those are the people that, you know, basically what they are, they're like monks and stuff in the China and all that stuff. You know, they do all that. Okay, so they, you know, got Adam and Eve together and they try to program them to be more civil. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, it's kind of like, before that, it was just cutthroat, you know? It was
Do you
like,
have a
there was
book I
no
can read
rules.
or anything?
Huh?
Do you have a book I can read where I can read
I
something?
mean, you can just basically look it all up on the fucking YouTube and all that stuff, because that's all I do too, you know?
Well, I got
I mean,
something for you, brother. Check this out, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, brother, it's been good talking to you, man. What's your name?
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Be
I
safe
mean,
out here, man.
yeah, we all fucking, we all got our interpretation of
I feel
everything
you. I
that's
just
going on.
wanted to chop up with my brother.
You
But be safe, man. You been drinking?
Yeah, yeah.
Be careful, man. There's cops that ride through here. If they see you, man, they gonna get on you, brother. Be
Shit,
careful,
they
man.
cool, man. They have to wait.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, Mary? I'm sorry? You're okay. Good. What?
So we gonna keep rolling?
We are going to go to,
I think I was almost done in Luke 21. Yeah, so let's go back to that, and I'll read that for you as well. I'll just start over. Luke 21 and 12,
all the way to 18.
Alright.
I ain't never heard the Mexicans or the Germans. You ever heard that? I ain't never. Man.
Golly, man. Now think about it, right? I'm sitting here telling this brother about the one true God, where I can look in this book and I can give him prophecy after prophecy that is being fulfilled before his very eyes today. And he's part of Scientology. Did you know in Scientology you got to sign a contract for 1 billion years? Yeah. I asked him that. And he nodded. He affirmed. He said, yeah. But yet, you throw the Bible away? You see what I'm saying? You'll believe in the white man's Scientology, but you won't believe the Bible. I'm gonna read something before I go to Luke, because I want to show you the Most High God. He is fed up with us doing this dumb shit. He fed up with it. And I'm gonna be honest. I've just been doing this for about 3 years, and I'm fed up. I'm fed up. Shit, our people dying, and we still taking it easy like, you know, the shit ain't happening to us. All right, but we're going to go to Isaiah 1, because that's one thing that is very true about the Bible, if nothing else. The Most High God called us a very stubborn and stiff-necked people, and it's true, right? We'll believe anything else before the Bible. This is Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Yeah, I'm in Scientology. Rebellion, right? The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people do not consider. Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. So the Most High God is saying, hey, why I gotta beat your ass anymore? What worse slavery can I put you in? Like, and I always think, I want you to turn through this book and look at some of the pictures. It might be upside down, I'm sure. You turn right to one of those pictures. Why should you be stricken anymore? Why should he have to have people come hang you? Why should he have to come have people feed your baby to alligators? It don't do no good. You still believe in white Jesus. You still believe in Scientology. You still a Mormon. You still a Christian. When you're really an Israelite. Being a Christian is not the same thing as being an Israelite today. You know that. The Christian church. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying because you made that, you know, you're kind of like, huh?
but because I'm not talking about the same Christians that are described in Acts 13:1 that were called nigger. I'm talking about the Christian today that has a mega church and takes up 5 collections before you even sit down. Right?
Because their God is money.
I'm sorry?
Their God is money.
Yeah, their God is money. Now, one of the things that our people don't quite understand is that Esau had a grandson named Eliphaz. Eliphaz means my God is gold. That's his literal name. My God is gold. Now, to name your son something, doesn't that say something about your principles? It says something about your beliefs and principles, right? So to have a son or a grandson named my God is gold, that tells me that Esau's priority in this world is wealth. And one of the things that I know Scientology will afford you is connections in this world. Hence why a lot of your stars are Scientologists. Right? Stars like Tom Cruise. What's his name? Damn. I know Isaac Hayes, but he dead. But, damn, there's a bunch of, I think Morgan Freeman is a Scientologist. But a lot of stars in Hollywood are Scientologists because they get plugged into that world where you essentially have people looking out for you, giving you jobs. But the cost of that is you have to forsake your own God, right? But the Most High God is sick of our people, right? Verse 6, for the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises, and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate, your cities are burnt with fire. Your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. Now, that hits twice as hard, because not only is our actual homeland destroyed and occupied by the people professing to be Jews and are not, but we stand in a land that's been taken over by that very same people. And I just got done talking to a Mexican brother who believes he's in Scientology. So the Most High God has done everything under the sun to chastise us, aside from wiping us out. And here he stands in his own land while the white man holds control and authority over this province. And he doesn't even question it. It never occurs to him to think, how did we fall this far? But in his mind, he thinks this is just how it works. That's why when he was talking about billions and billions of years, in my mind, I'm just like, so you mean to tell me that the white man has been conquering us for billions of years? The strongest, mightiest people on the planet who have the salt and do everything better than everyone else. We somehow just can't take on the white man. But that tells you that brother's lost. It's a shame. But we're going to go back to Luke. Man. And this is to the camera. That's the craziest brother I done talked to in a while. Right? I was trying to diffuse that shit so we can get up out of here, man. Because I could tell he was drinking. Last thing I want is to have to mace or fight a nigga who literally ain't even trying to get the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's a waste of time. Right? But this is Luke 21:12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay, nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed, both by parents and brethren, and kinsfolk and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And we're coming into that time now. Up in Canada, they just got done passing legislation to make, say like if a gay person were to walk by and I say, hey, did you know that's against the laws of God? You could be put to death for that. They're going to make things like that a hate crime. So if somebody hears me preaching the Bible, they get offended. If I was up in Canada today, I could get arrested for that. Now, a lot of people don't know. I'm saying this again for the camera, right? Canada is the little brother to America. So what the little brother does, eventually the big brother's going to do it too. That's the testing ground up there. We get everything that Canada does except for healthcare and college, right? Any social programs that actually benefit the people, that don't come to America. But the oppressive legislation and policies, they show as hell come down here because that's where all the Israelites are at, right? But the famine of the word is being orchestrated upon the earth right now. So in not too much time, it's going to be next to impossible to hear one of us preaching in public because we're going to get locked up for it. See, that's why Yahweh Shai had to put us up on game and let us know you're going to get betrayed by your own. They're going to put you in prison. You're going to be afflicted and scourged, beaten for those of y'all watching who don't know what those words mean. And then some of you are going to be martyrs. They're going to put you to death. But see, that's why you have to understand what we're doing this for. It's for the kingdom of heaven. And also to seal the elect, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, who don't know who they are. Right? But let's go ahead and slide over to Revelation 2 and 9 through 11. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now I have a question. If the fake Jews are the synagogue of Satan, who are the devils who are going to cast you into prison? Who would go to a church for Satan? When you say devils will populate a church for Satan? Yeah. What does devil mean? It means liar. That's all devil means. So when we call the white man the devil that the Bible speaks of, we're calling him the liar, the misdirector that the Bible speaks about. Right? So, and Satan means adversary. So if you have an adversarial synagogue to the church of the Most High God, the body of Christ, then that means devils are going to be in that high church of Satan. That's why Revelations 2 and 9 applies here. Right? I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But that be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. See, that's why you have to overcome unto the end. Because if you're not going to be hurt by the second death, that infers that there was a first death. Right? So if you're not going to be overcome by the second death, but you were overcome by the first, that says you're back. You're back to life. To be judged to see if you're worthy of the second death. Right? But let's go ahead, because I'm going to prove something real quick. We're going to go to Matthew 18 and 18 through 20. Because one of the things that we have to understand is when Yahweh Shai is saying, he's saying these words unto the churches, how does that apply to us today if he's talking to a specific church of Israelites, right? Because don't we always say the Most High God dwells in us? We do. We're his temples. And don't we also say where two or more are gathered, in the midst of them, God is, or the Spirit of Yahweh Shai is? So let's take a look into Yahweh Shai's words and verify that that's the case. No, I'm not. I'll take that. I don't look. Oh. It's a lot here. Y'all got time for the Bible tonight?
Sorry.
No? All right. That's it. This is Matthew
18 and 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that shall ask, or that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So Yahushua let us know, hey, look, if y'all pray as a group, you Israelites coming together, if you pray that something be bound on earth as it is in heaven, it'll be given unto you, if it be in the Father's will. Because where 2 or more of you are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of you. Right? So that's why we have to keep letting our people know that this is not going to turn about until we gather together and start keeping the laws of God and praying unto the Most High God as a unit. That's why the Most High God gave us a cutoff number, because 100% of these niggas ain't going to get it. Right? He gave us the cutoff number of the 1/3 and the 144. We out here to seal the righteous 1/3, the elect. Right? I'm going to read it one more time. This is Matthew 18 and 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So there's power in prayer. And there's even more power when we pray in tandem together. 2 righteous men availeth much. More than 2 righteous men availeth even more. Right? But let's keep going. So, one of the things I brought out earlier, and I'm going to bring it out again, is Daniel 12 and 1 through 3, and then we're going to go to Jeremiah 30. Right? Because the times that are coming up on the earth are far more dire than most of our people are even realize. Right? Jeremiah, that, let's go to Daniel 30. Because see, when we talk about the ordeal of Jacob's trouble, the time of oppression and scrutiny like no other, you have to understand something. This is taking into account all of chattel slavery. In this short duration of time that we're going to go through trouble, it's going to exceed all the oppression of the time in the past. This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And what is that book? The book of life. Remember the book that Yahushua was found worthy to loose the seals of? That's the book that he's going to search to see if you are worthy to receive salvation or to receive condemnation. Right? And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Well, I have a question. What would cause you to sleep in the earth? What'd you say? Death. Right? Remember I said that the second death is not going to have harm, or it's not going to have any effect or bring harm to those who overcome. But it says here in Daniel 12 and 2 that many shall sleep and awake in the dust. Meaning many people are going to be dead when this final judgment comes. Whether they've died long before, like 10 or 20 years before, or they died during Jacob's trouble. You're still going to be raised back up to receive your judgment. See, that's what we're gunning for. That's why I don't mind if my head has to be cut off preaching this truth. I don't mind that. Because my whole goal and ambition is to be found worthy to enter into the kingdom and be part of the first fruits, to be an honorable servant unto our Messiah. Sorry? I think it's down there. Yeah, it's just straight down. Verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as bright as the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Now I have a question, Tammy. Every time you talk to somebody about this good book, what are you doing? I'm going to read it again. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Aren't you turning people to righteousness every time you try to teach them about the Bible? Yeah. Now, how do we know the Bible has righteousness in it? I'm going to show you. It's in Deuteronomy 9. Right? See, this is to the camera. Many of our people, we declare ourselves righteous by our own opinion. See, and that's why the Bible talks about the heart of a man being deceitfully wicked. Right? You're not supposed to be trying to dictate what is righteousness when the Most High God already gave that to you as an Israelite. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 9 and verse 4. Speak not thou in thine heart. After that the Lord thy God hath cast them out from before thee, saying, For my righteousness the Lord hath brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of them, those nations, the Lord doth drive them out from before thee. Not for thy righteousness, or for the uprightness of thine heart, dost thou go to possess the land. But for the wickedness of those nations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we're not supposed to be talking about, hey, look, we're going to get, like, our righteousness is why we're inheriting the kingdom of heaven. Or our righteousness is why the Most High God is doing anything for that matter. The Most High God is doing all of this because of the promise that he made to Abraham, right? And if you go a page over, we get the mission statement of what we're supposed to be doing, which constitutes righteousness in the eyes of God. This is Deuteronomy 10 and 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So the Most High God commanded us to keep the commandments for our own good. Now, what good is that? It's not just so that we could stay in the land that he gave unto our fathers, but it's also so that we could be found righteous servants upon the arrival of the Messiah and be welcomed into the new kingdom with open arms. Right? But I do want to get a specific scripture. I know it's in Deuteronomy. Hold on. Let me get that for you. Oh shit, there's two things I can get you actually. Yeah. So law is the truth. That's in Psalms. Grab that real quick. This is Psalms 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So, when you're teaching people about the Bible, trying to tell them to keep the commandments, trying to turn them back to their God, trying to tell blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians that they're the people of the Bible and to keep the commandments, that is going to enable you in the days of affliction, Jacob's trouble, to shine like the firmament in the stars in heaven. Because the wisdom of this world is foolishness. It's going to come to naught. Because I have a question, Tammy. If there was a famine, what good would it do me to be a mechanic working on cars if there was no food? None. How about working in IT fixing computers? None. Hell, how about, say, knowing about other gods like Buddha, Krishna, Allah? All of these gods that have made no prophecies for us to know about, learn about, and be aware of the times that are coming up on the earth. It won't do you any good to serve an idol in that day. All of that knowledge will be for nothing. But in the day of affliction and judgment, the knowledge of the scriptures and how to keep the law and appease God is going to enable you to shine among people. And that's what Daniel is telling us in Daniel 12. Right? This is Daniel 12 and 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn away are turned many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. So, again, that's why this knowledge is very important. And your adversaries are trying to pass legislation to make it harder to not only get a Bible, but to even be willing to preach it in public. That's why sitting here getting this knowledge now, it is going to become more valuable than you could ever imagine. And I'm saying that as much to myself as to y'all, because someone taught me. I wasn't born in this, but eventually it's going to come out where you can't get this knowledge anymore, right? Before I go to Jeremiah, I want to go to Amos real quick. Because you've heard me say famine of the word a number of times, right? I'm going to show you in the scriptures where it actually is. This is Amos. Oh, shit. Yeah, there we go. Locky up. There we go. That's how I thought. This is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. So there's going to come a time where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, even the heathen, are going to be looking for this knowledge, because it's going to let them know what's happening upon the earth. You got time for the Bible, brother? All right, Brother Dalsaeus, man. See, it's in the spirit, right? I just read about the famine of the word. Now think about it. This knowledge can't be given by just anybody. Because most people aren't even aware that there's going to come a time before judgment where you're going to seek the knowledge of the Bible and it's not going to be around. But see, now y'all are aware of that. So why not seek God all the harder while you can? Call upon him while he is near, that ye may be found of him. A servant worthy of listening to, worthy of hearkening to, a servant worthy of protecting, right? Because you're going to have a lot of people calling on God in the day of affliction, and God ain't going to move for them, right? But let's go ahead and go to Jeremiah 30, because we need to further highlight some of the things that are coming upon the earth. I just ripped another piece out of my Bible. Dang. Did you eat anything earlier, man? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Okay. This is Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass, in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So that's when we're going to be saved out of this captivity, at the height of persecution in Jacob's trouble. That's why, again, Yahweh Shai had to make it plain. Many of you are going to die in this thing. Die serving. Because that, too, is part of the prophecy. Right? Because a lot of people, especially if you're in the Christian church, let you have a string of bad luck. The Most High God casting judgment on you, because there's no such thing as luck. But according to the church, you might have a string of bad fortune. And now all of a sudden, they're saying that you're wicked. You did something to deserve this. Not understanding that God's ways are not necessarily your ways. And sometimes the Most High God will have things befall you so that you know who's around you. Right? That happens a lot. Where you'll have very misfortunate things happen to you. Where it's, say, like you're short on your rent, and you go to your church and you ask for money. You ask for some help, and they deny you. That happens a lot. And that's how a lot of our people separate themselves from their enemies and those who mean them no good, and they finally start to take heed of their friends.
Right? No, we gonna keep going.
Verse 9. But they shall serve the Lord their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be at rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So the Most High God is literally saying, like, look, I'm going to save you out of your captivity. And this whole purpose of you being in captivity was for you to be corrected. Because after saving us, what did it say was going to happen? He's going to make a full end of the other nations. So I have a question. If he's going to make a full end of the white man and his nation, why would you gravitate to the white man's nation and try to cleave unto him? See, it doesn't even make sense to do that if the Most High God is going to destroy them, right? That's why it's important to know this knowledge. But, let's keep going.
Have water.
Not today, unfortunately. Actually, hold on. Now you good. I got a little. Make it last. Make it last.
Not really.
Huh? Oh no, you're good. Go ahead. Yeah. But so we're gonna go ahead and go over to 1 John 2 and 13 through 20. Because knowing that the Most High God intends to make a full end of all these nations, and that it will do you no good to cleave unto the ways of this world, how should you view the knowledge of this world? Right? I'm sorry? Yeah.
This is 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 13. I write unto you, fathers. I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I write unto you, young men, because you have overcome the wicked one. I write unto you, little children, because ye have known the Father.
Now I have a question. The one from the beginning and the Father, are they the same person?
Yeah.
Are they? Because that would suggest that the Most High God has a beginning, and he doesn't. He's always been here. So I have a question. Where would you go in the Bible to prove that the Most High God is not the so-called beginning? Colossians. So we're going to go to Colossians real quick.
Don't it says in Revelation somewhere that he is the beginning and the end?
Alpha and Omega. You're right. That's in Revelations, I believe, 22. Last chapter. Now, that brings up a good point. So why did he say that?
And it all starts with him and ends with
And
him.
it ends with it. That's right. Now, say you say that to a Christian. Now you got to prove it. There's two places you can go. I'm going to read them both. Right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to read them both. If I can find them, I'll come back to that. Off. Gosh. So we're going to go to Colossians, then we're going to go to Hebrews 1. Right?
This is Colossians, chapter 1 and verse, we'll start at 12. Verse 12, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the powers of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature.
So Yahushua was the first created of all the creatures. The firstborn of every creature. That's why they call him the only begotten Son. Because if God made me and you, wouldn't we be begotten of the Father? If he made us, yes. But we weren't begotten of the Father. We were made by the Son and his angels. Let me go to Hebrews 1. Actually, you know what? I can keep reading too here. So hold on. This is Colossians 1 and 16. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Now you see why you have to make that distinction. The one from the beginning, which is the beginning of creation, and then the Father who has always existed even before creation, before time. You see? Do you have a question? Okay. All right, so we're going to go to Hebrews 1. And see, that's a little tidbit of knowledge that you need to understand, because when you're reading Genesis 1 and you see the plural form of God, Elohim, when you look up the dictionary or the lexicon meaning of God that's used there, you see the word Elohim, which is plural. So how could it be plural if the Most High God created everything? But you know that Christ was the only begotten Son of the Father, and after him, he made everything else. Right? This is Hebrews 1 and 1. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto him, or unto us, by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, plural. So by Yahushua he made the worlds. But world in the context of the Greek doesn't mean the earth. He made the different arrangements or orderly things. Remember, it said everything visible and invisible and powers, everything orderly was made by the Son, right? So when you're talking about different orders of people or a world, why not Israel be a world unto itself? Now, where would I go in the Bible to prove that? Isaiah 45:17. And this is how, when you're talking with somebody who says God loves everybody, this is what you have to go into. Because you're dealing with John 3 and 16. More times than not. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. But you have to understand that the world don't mean the earth. Right? This is Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded. World without end. So Israel is a world without end unto itself. So when Christ says he came to save the world in John 3 and 16, what world is he talking about? The Israelites. Do you agree? No? Yes? She falls asleep. All right. No, you're okay. Just trying to get feedback. But with that being said, let's keep going on in the lesson. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll over. Actually, we're going to finish off 1 John. We did not finish that. This is 1 John 2 and 13. I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. That's Yahushua. I write unto you, young men, because you have overcome the wicked one. I write unto you, little children, because ye have known the Father. I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of God abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So if you love the wisdom of this world, the idols of this world, you don't love the Heavenly Father. You don't love his son, Yahushua. That's why that brother saying he's a Scientologist, he don't love God because he doesn't know how to. He loves an idol according to how he's been trained by his oppressors, right?
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doth the will of God abideth forever.
See, that's how we know that enduring unto death is the name of the game. Because if you truly understand this book, you understand that death is a momentary inconvenience, and then your spirit stands before the Father, and he maketh all things new, and can take away all your pain. Then there's no cause to be scared of, because none can deliver from the hand of the Most High.
Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that is the last time. They went out for us, or they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest, that they were not all of us.
And this is talking about those who departed from the actual biblical believings and teachings and converted into things like Catholicism, Protestantism, all these different sects of Christianity, which house primarily Israelites. Because our people run to the church. But in doing so, they run away from the tenets of the Most High God. Because how many people in the Christian church do you know of who keep Passover? None. How many of them still rock a cross around their neck or get tattoos of scriptures on their body? A lot of them. But they do that because this is the wisdom of the world, and the Most High God thinks of it as foolishness, right? What's up?
You have tattoos, right?
I have them now, yeah. I had them from before. So now that I know better, I can't get any more, right? So yeah, if you got them, just don't get no more. And pray to the Most High God.
I never had them until I started them.
Okay, until you started basically this. When did you get your tattoo?
2014.
2014. How long have you known about the truth of the Bible?
I just registered it for
Well, I mean, what year? Like last year, 2 years ago?
2015 and 16.
Okay, so you had the tattoos before. Yeah, so I mean, I'll say this. It's not that you think lightly of your past sins, but what can you do about it? You know what I'm saying? You've already done the deed, so pray that the Most High God have mercy on you and seek Him 10 times harder, right? But
Verse 20.
actually, you know what? Yeah,
Verse 20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things.
so that unction or that compulsion or that inspiration from the Most High God through His Spirit, that is how we are being taught these things of the Bible. The Most High God is opening our understanding that we might understand what is written so that we can wake our other brothers and sisters up and have them also repent likewise. But let's go ahead and head over to, we did that, and that. So we're going to go to Revelation 17 and 1 through 6. Because we see the arrogance of our adversaries as they pass all these unrighteous decrees. They invest in all these wicked technologies, making human meat, making all types of abominable laws that basically support things like LGBTQ rights, trying to enforce laws that would force people to accept pedophiles as a normal sexual preference or pedophilia, right?
Trying to legalize it?
I'm sorry?
They're still trying to legalize it?
Yeah, they're trying to make them they're trying to make it so that they're viewed as a group of people who have a sexual preference, although it is a taboo, right? So it's normalizing the process. Because most people think that pedophiles should be put to death. And the Bible certainly co-signs that.
But if your enemy is telling you, hey, look, they need to be put in jail, not killed, that's leniency for a capital offense. And then to go even further, what if they're telling you they don't need to be in jail? They need counseling. You see what I'm saying? It's now, they're just normalizing it step by step.
I have like a few nephews that are like that, and I wish I could feed them. I need to feed them food.
Yeah.
Literally,
A lot of us have that in our family. But the reason why we have it in our family,
I have a son that's like that, and I'm not gonna lie, I would do that to him. God forgive me.
just pray that the Most High God, not let him be like that. Train up a child in the way they should go. And when they become old, they won't depart from it. So that's the best thing you can do, right? But this is Revelations, chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, that sitteth upon many waters. And that great whore is America. And that judgment's coming real soon. All praises. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations, and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, there will be some people who say, well, how do you know that's America? What is the nation that sits upon the head of this so-called beast? If each head of that beast represents a nation, and each horn represents a lesser nation. See, if you understand how this prophecy unfolds, it leaves no other country in the world that could be the whore of the daughter of Babylon aside from America, right? Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Can't talk. So, not only is this whore riding upon this beast, which metaphorically represents all these different nations, but she's controlling these nations, and she's drunk off the blood of the saints. Well, what nation on the planet today has built every facet of their riches off of the backs, the blood, and the sweat of the Israelites? None other than America. That's why when you ask America how they built their wealth, if they're truthful with you, they'll let you know that it was by the transatlantic slave trade. The banks, the schools, all of the major institutions here in America got their start in slavery. See, that's the unfortunate reality that we have to acknowledge when we look at these prophecies. But through acknowledging this reality, we see that there is hope, because our Messiah is coming back to destroy the very same nations that have put us in slavery, with the worst punishment being applied to the daughter of Babylon. Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots. Right? Actually, you know what? Do I want to read the word, or is that all I do? That's all. We're going to go ahead and we are going to roll over to Isaiah 47, 3 through 15. Right? Because we see our enemies being very boisterous and braggadocious, right? About the wickedness and the abominations that they have spread throughout the earth, right? They proudly boast that they've spread LGBTQ rights to most nations on the planet. They boldly boast that they have humanitarian projects to so-called help children, when really those are covers for massive child trafficking rings all over the earth. And you saw an indication of that down in Haiti,
when one of the aides of Hillary Clinton was caught, I believe with about like 7 to 10 children she was trying to cross into America with. And of course, after she got put in jail, she got bailed out by the Clintons, right? Because that's how they turn their coin here, right? Through backroom deals and trafficking women and children. But let's go ahead and get this. We got 3 more lines after this, so we almost done, y'all. Let's get Isaiah 47, 3.
This is Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel.
See, and this is why we keep trying to tell Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that your God is going to deliver revenge onto these people who've done nothing but rape, rob, and murder God's children. So that's why when the white man goes, hey, move on from slavery, God didn't, so why should we? See, that's why as more hardship befalls America, you're going to see her allies turn on her. Because the Bible says that they're going to hate the whore and eat her flesh and burn her with fire. But see, these heathen, they don't know about the prophecies of the Bible. They don't know how to interpret these scriptures. So they think that these are literal figures that are going to be on the earth, like a sci-fi movie, not understanding that this was spoken in code, so Israelites could have their book of knowledge even amongst their enemies. See, that's why the Most High God has to give you the understanding to understand these scriptures. And since the Most High God reveals his secrets unto none other than his servants, the prophets, the heathen don't have a chance. That speaks to the genius of the Most High God. All praises be unto his name.
Verse 5, sit thou silent, and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and have given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke.
And we see that in the pictures that are left over from slavery from the 1800s, or the 1800s, right, or the 19th century, where we see our people in fetters of iron, iron collars about their neck, chains put about their feet, chained to heavy weights so they couldn't run or depart from their plantations. And they even did it to the very ancient and the very young of our people. They spared no one.
And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. Neither didst...
Man, I cannot talk today. Hold up. I have a little tooth thing in. I need to take it out. Hold up. I don't need the water. I have a retainer in the back of my mouth. Yeah, I took it out. Salakia, yo. I just took the shit out, man. I'm tired of it.
Anyway, this is Isaiah 47 and 7. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. Neither didst remember thou the latter end of it.
So when the white man was hanging us, lynching us, burning us, working us to death, he didn't think about what the end of that would be. He didn't think that judgment would come in the form of a Messiah. See, that's why the word that comes unto Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians in the church is that we're supposed to extend salvation to all nations. But the real question is, what do they need to be saved from? What do the people who benefited from our slavery need to be saved from as they walk up and down stolen land? As they walk up and down over the bones and bodies of the people that they murdered, what do they need to be saved from? Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And that's what the white man says all damn day long. They don't believe they should have to suffer any of the things that we suffer at their hands. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So the Most High God is literally saying, this is why I'm going to come and I'm going to wipe y'all off the face of the planet. I'm going to destroy y'all's nation. And then after you serve that 1,000-year sentence, to the nation of Edom specifically, I'm going to wipe y'all out as a people altogether. Verse 9 again, but these two things shall come to thee in one moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thine wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's exactly what the white man does here in America. He thinks he's unparalleled. He thinks he can't be touched. Not understanding that this place is going to be destroyed in less than an hour. See, it's not going to take the agents of the Most High God very long. Once they stop holding back all of these methods of destruction to destroy America, it's not going to take long for this place to be destroyed. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So the Most High God is saying, look, suddenly you're going to be destroyed. Suddenly, you're going to hear them air raid sirens. You're going to see on every news broadcasting network that's still up and running that a nuclear attack is imminent on the United States. And when that happens, you're going to know the Most High God, he foretold of this in his scriptures. And we've been preaching it to the world, but nobody could hear because the understanding wasn't given unto them. It was only given unto the chosen elect that were meant to understand. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. So God is saying, hey man, bring that shit, man. Bring your tanks, bring your bombs, bring your prognosticators, your fortune tellers, all the people who engage in left-hand sorcery. The Most High God is saying, bring it. If you can prevail by that, go ahead and do it. How you doing?
Hello. I petition for world peace.
I don't want that at all. Did you know God don't want that? Yeah.
No,
I have a question. Where in the Bible does it say God wants world peace?
it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I haven't read the Bible.
Okay, so what's your giving? What do you think? I mean, but why would I want world peace?
Why wouldn't you?
I'm a black man in America. I want revenge for what the white man has done to my people.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Since I thought about that too.
Did you know why I'm out here?
No.
For blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Yes, the very same people that got genocided by the white people. We're the Israelites in the Bible. God says that he's going to take vengeance on our adversaries. Israelites. Because the people in Israel are not Israelites, they're Israelis. They're the ones claiming to be the Israelites, but are not. Are you familiar with the conversion that happened in the 9th century under King Bulan in Khazaria? No? Okay, how about the conversion that happened in 150 BC under the Hasmonean dynasty? You should get familiar with those.
Have you read the Leopold letter?
No. Can you fill me in on what that's about?
How the Belgian priest was sending missionary priests to conquer other lands.
Are you talking about how they genocided over in Africa? They killed those?
Congo.
Yeah, in the Congo. Yeah, yeah. That's where my people come from.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right. But here's the thing. Those people come from the nation of Edom. The so-called white man over in Germany is the same white man here in America.
oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's why the...
You know, I just tried handing my petition to a few white people. They don't want me to have a peace. They ignore me.
I know. But why would you... Okay, I have a question. I want to show you something, right? Where's that picture?
Awesome. I can sit here and talk to you all damn night.
Sure. Let's do it.
let's step in the light. So you can see. All right.
So,
You see this man right here? He's being burned alive and lynched. Matter of fact, let me give a phone so you can really see. You see he's being barbecued alive by all the white people? Now I have a question. Why would you want world peace?
okay, let's backtrack. I am religious. I haven't read the Bible other than John
Okay.
in the first test.
New Testament.
No.
John's in the New Testament. Okay.
Where they keep asking
Yeah.
so,
Okay, you stand right here. I'm recording right there. Yeah, I got
are
it.
you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I put this
so-
online for our people.
So where do you want this at?
Oh, just right there. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. So, video, audio, both?
Yeah, both.
Awesome. Okay. So I've lived most of my life in the Northwest side. Then my niece ended, and I couldn't find anywhere for a month. So I somewhere to stay Southside. And the school district, there's a major change. I mean, big time. Like, the school always seemed kind of like fishy to me, but with that difference, my daughter would come home saying that they're doing fundraisers for this, fundraisers for that, and I'm like, well, what's going on? You know, they can't be that low funded. And sure enough, I started looking into the. Oh, so my daughter comes home and tells me that there's an additional 200 students that will be attending that school next year. And I'm like, what? Well, they're low funded. Where are where are the kids coming from? If they're coming from a further neighborhood and they don't have a vehicle, they're gonna have to walk. They're probably gonna miss school. You know, all kinds of things got in my head. So I started asking questions at school, and the staff members weren't able to give me a straight answer of where these children were coming from. So that, red flags everywhere. So I got on the website. Oh, they're like, it's on the website. It's on the website. So I looked, and I went back, and they're like, no, it's on the website. And I was like, all right, because I looked. I'm gonna go back and look. And I was like, all right, you know what? I know they're messing around lying, but I was like, I'm gonna thoroughly look on that web everywhere. And sure enough, it didn't take me long to all the fraudulent activities that where I come down with I don't want to.
There you are. Now I have a question. So, looking at that site, seeing all the fraudulent activity, did you want to make world peace with the people who were doing that? Lying to you like that?
No,
No.
not yet. That's my goal.
But what I'm trying to get at is, with all the liars and the people who are killing people, why do you want to make world peace with the actual offenders? And they don't want to make world peace with us. Now you see where I'm going,
No,
right?
not because I went through the same dilemma of thinking, where exactly? Not quite sure when it happened about the world peace.
everything says? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So whoever God's chosen people are, when we don't keep his commandments, there's going to be some curses. Here's one, right? Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. So when your daughter came home and told you that they didn't turn the heaters on, kids are freezing. But here's the thing, how much could you really do? Like for instance, say, how much could I do if CPS took my son or my daughter?
That's not your gift.
Yeah, I can appeal, but there's not too much I can do. I can't just go and take them back. I'll get killed for that.
No. First
Right.
of all, they have no right to take you.
But say they do. I can't do anything if they do.
Let's skip that question.
But what I'm trying to show you, sister, is this is a curse in the Bible to the Israelites. When the white man first came to America, was he not raping and killing our people?
Yeah.
Yes. When did he stop? He didn't. But it's a curse, sister. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The real Israelites, who are blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are under this curse. Now you see why I'm out here, right? Check this out. Verse 48.
Oh, by the white people?
Well, white people, yeah. So-called African people, because Africans and Negroes aren't the same. Right? Do you know about the sub-Saharan slave trade? No, that's another one. And they're separate. You're talking about the transatlantic slave trade. I'm talking about a slave trade that happened in Africa and through India in the Middle East to my people again. Did you know y'all were in slavery to the Assyrians before y'all came here to the Americas? That's all in here, sister. That's why I'm trying to bring this all out for you. I'm out here every Saturday between the hours of about 5:30 to about 10 o'clock. And I let blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know that we are the chosen children in the Bible. That's why when you told me you read the book of John, I was impressed. Because most people, they don't read an entire book. Well, let me show you how you're supposed to read the Bible. 'Cause most people, they don't. No, ma'am. Let me show you. What's your name? Leticia? I'm Kyle.
I'm listening. I recently became a Christian pastor.
Now, what if I showed you God as a man of war?
Exodus 23:23.
I thought you only read John. Ooh. You're undercover, aren't you? See? I want to show you a few things, right? Because, actually, I'm going to just show you that because you know more than you really know.
Well,
Well, yeah.
they gave me, I love history,
Okay.
so I'm a history kind of fact person. If I've ever watched anything on TV, it's education.
Okay. Well, listen to this, right? These are the words of Christ. You've never heard this before, I guarantee you. This is Luke 19:27. These are the words of Christ. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Christ said, my enemies who don't want to serve, bring them and kill them in front of me. Is that your Jesus? That's the Jesus in the Bible. Now, why would he say that? No. That's not it. Well, I have a question. What does it mean to die? So what happens to you after you die? We're going to go into it, right? And the reason why I'm trying to show you this is because death doesn't mean what you're thinking.
No, I know.
Okay. So we're going to go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 14. This is 2nd Ezra 14 and 35. Actually, I'll start at 34. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive. And after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come. Ye shall live again, and then shall the deeds of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. That's why you can be put to death by the Most High God, because it's not permanent. You receive your judgment, and then you come back and you live out your judgment. Remember in Exodus 20 and 5 when it said the Most High God extends his judgment to the 3rd and 4th generation?
No, I
cool. But let me read this for you because I'm going to show you. It's something called regeneration, right? Because then I have to ask you, is heaven and hell real? Oh. Because if you receive your judgment from God and then you live again, how could you go to heaven or hell, which is supposed to last forever? It's not true, right? But who told you about heaven and hell? Who talked about it? The Christian church did, didn't it? Didn't they tell you about heaven and hell? Okay. But while you think on that, I want you to hear this. If I can get my Bible. This. This is Exodus 20 and 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to me, nor serve me, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Why would he do the third and fourth generation? Let me read it again so you have the whole thing. Right? So, visiting the iniquity, the sin, of the fathers upon the children of those fathers, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Those who yeah, so say like you live a certain life, you live to be 80 and then you pass away. Your spirit would go unto the Father, he would judge you for the things you've done in your body in this life. And then after about 60 to 80 years, you would be right back down here, living out your judgment. You get it? There you go. So when they tell you about heaven and hell doesn't mean going down below the ground into a fire. Hell is just literally the grave. In Hebrew, the word is Sheol.
I learned how to say, well, it's in Arabic,
Okay. Now, how do you say holy war?
literally, it's just that word thing. That's all I got.
Because with Christ, it says that he both judge and make war, right? So if he both judges and makes war, well, he's got to make war with somebody. Who's he making war with? Correct. So, if God's delivered them from Egypt, who is Christ coming to deliver? The same people. Because aren't the Israelites in slavery?
Yeah,
Who are the Israelites?
I mean, the Israelites.
Okay. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to read the Bible. Now, hold on a second. Those people aren't supposed to be in the land of Israel. Because who was that land given to? The Israelites, according to the Bible. The people in Gaza today are Ishmaelites. They're Arabs. The original people in that land, well, I mean, I can't say that. Well, no, because the white people didn't get there until 1948. By the Balfour Declaration. That's when the fake, for the camera, that's when those who say they're Jews today moved into that land. You know, you got to clean up your speech, don't take your video there. But they didn't move there until 1948.
What do you mean?
So, like you, yeah, well, if you just say bad things about them, they'll take your video down. Because I put my videos on YouTube. Yeah. But,
Oh my God. Well, I hope they watch. I hope they're watching.
I do too.
I've been trying to get a hold of them.
Hey,
They believe in some sort of second Messiah. And I've been trying to get a hold of them, but they haven't.
well, they say their Messiah's already back. He's memorized the whole Torah. Look at the first 5 books of the Bible.
That's
Well,
I bet I can memorize the whole damn Bible.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been at it for years. I'm still trying to memorize enough to teach. Right? I think I'm okay at it. But memorizing the Bible is difficult. I will say that. But him memorizing the Torah is not fulfilling the prophecy of the Messiah. Right?
So he's not back then.
Correct. Let me read this.
What is it?
Well, check this out. Check this out. Right? This is Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And these are the words of Christ, by the way. And I know the blasphemy or the lie of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. What does Satan mean? Satan just means adversary. What is a synagogue? It's a high church. So they are the high church of the adversary Israelites. Irish are white people.
Like Europe, yeah.
Yeah, they're just white people who speak Spanish. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with the white man here who speaks English. They're the same people,
Yeah.
right?
All the Europeans, yeah.
Right? So who? Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So who has oppressed blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians more than white people? Nobody. Now, I want to show you. Did you know God has a list of enemies in the Bible? A list of enemies? Yeah, it's in Psalm 83. This is Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Don't you call yourself a Mexican?
Or,
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Human being.
Okay, that's cool.
Female.
Okay. But most of your people, they would call themselves Mexican, right?
Only because you fill in the fucking bubble.
Okay, cool. But most of my people call themselves so-called black or African American. Now, I'm telling you that you're an Israelite. And you're an Israelite by blood, all the way back to the man named Jacob.
What about some guy named David?
David was from the nation of Judah. He's an Israelite. So was Christ. Christ came from the lineage of David.
Then the second Messiah is supposed to be David.
Well, he's saying that, but guess what? Remember what I just read to you in Revelations 2 and 9? They which say they are Jews and are not. So
but I'm
they're
not
lying.
Oh, the Jews?
The ones over in Israel today who say they are Jews, they're not the real people.
Yeah.
They're just white people. They're from the nation of Edom. Now, if they're not the real Jews, who are the real Jews?
There's no such thing as Jews.
No, that's not true. That means the real Jews are hidden. Now, I'm going to read this again because I want you to follow what I'm saying, right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who's God's people? The Israelites. Cool. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation. If they wanted to cut the Israelites off from being a nation, what would you do to them? I'll tell you what I would do. I would kill most of your men, and I would take your nation into slavery, and I would tell you you are something other than an Israelite, and I would ban you from reading the Bible. What did the white man do in history? He killed most of the men. He took us into slavery. He banned you from reading the Bible. So now you call yourself Mexican. I call myself black. The Cuban brothers call themselves Cuban when they too are Israelites. The native Indians, the Cubanos, the Taino Indians, the Seminole Indians, all of those people who have basically fulfilled the curses, and I want you to read this when you get home, right? If you remember anything else, read Deuteronomy 28 and start at, yeah, sure, right there. Because sister, you're an Israelite.
Well, I
Just look into it, look into it.
no. Like, I don't
Okay. Because if your father is a so-called Mexican man, you go back to what is called in the Bible the tribe of Issachar. Issachar in the Hebrew means he is higher. Who are the hardest working people on the planet? Mexicans, right? Did you know there's a prophecy for the Mexican man where you would literally be a strong donkey? What's the unofficial animal for Mexico? Burro. The burro. That's the animal that identifies with Mexican people. But this is going to be Deuteronomy 28. Right? There you go. Right? Start at 50.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm
Let me
sorry.
see.
Sorry.
Let me see. That no, well, that's enough to.
Okay, good. But when you start at 15, read all the way to 68. Those are nothing but curses that are upon the real Israelites.
You know, sorcery still being done.
Yeah. Well, you know what sorcery is in the Bible? So, sorcery goes back to the word pharmakia. What's that sound like? Pharmacy. Why do you think witches make potions and drinks?
It's for
Now,
the
why do you
extra
go to a
distance
doctor who gives you
sometimes.
a prescription to go to a pharmacy? That's
Yeah, and
witchcraft.
then you're straight going around.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about
Like voodoo and all that stuff. Yeah, that's idolatry and witchcraft. You're right. Now, I have a question. Is there a commandment against that in the Bible? Yes. The Bible says you're
I know
not.
it was a sin.
Correct.
It's black magic. It's sorcery.
Correct.
You're not supposed to.
Now, but, okay, so I have a question, sister. How would you prove that in the Bible? If you were to tell me, if I didn't know that witchcraft was a sin, if I didn't know that, where would you go in the Bible to? Okay.
No. I already got it. See, when I decided to go on this world peace mission, God started giving me all this information from different sources. And thank God that I took pictures and I screenshotted my phone. I've always done that to document what I read.
Okay.
The belief that certain forms of ritualized human behavior can produce effects that are beyond the power of natural causes. This occurs usually by forcing supernatural powers to behave in accordance with the will of a person who possesses the required esoteric knowledge. Magic is usually magi. Do you know? Let me read this. Interpreter of dreams. The astrologers who, led by the star, visited Jesus in Bethlehem, that came from the east, most probably Babylon, and symbolized the manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles. People assumed that they were three in number because they brought three gifts. I was gonna say blah blah blah. No blah blah blah. Anyway, and in later tradition they are given names Balthazar and Jasper. Their purported relics are in below.
Okay. But that's the meaning of the word. So, if you want to teach somebody the biblical.
What did you hear?
Yeah, I heard you. I
The
heard you.
relics?
Yeah.
You know what the relics are?
Yeah, like icons and stuff from old day, old days. Not necessarily
they're-
icons, but like pieces of history.
Well, according to what I read, it's the remains.
Okay. Now, I want to read this to you. This is Leviticus 19 and 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. That's a commandment. Right?
See what it says?
Oh, sorry. I was just because a wizard is what? A male witch. So it's actually a commandment in the Bible, literally, to put witches to death. So this is Exodus 22
I know.
and 18. Okay. Well,
Well,
let's.
let's get to it.
Well, I mean, but we got to wait on the Messiah. You know that. We have to wait for him that he rises to the prey. We can't just do that on our own power because we don't have our kingdom right now.
Well,
That's what the Messiah is coming back to do.
okay. So, let's just say, quotation mark. I was talking about it. God told me to tell his angels to return this land back to the wilderness and take it home. That I do not speak in rhymes. And I have no idea what that means.
Okay. Now, what I have to tell you is, you would have to line up with how the Bible says the Messiah will return.
Which is,
This is Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So you would have to be coming back in such a way that every eye can see. That's we only can see. Not to mention, there's a problem with gender because you're female.
Oh, it says the man?
Yeah,
Clearly says
yeah, it
man?
says him.
It won't be a man to see that.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Why?
Yes. Why wouldn't the Son of God be a man? Not to mention,
Son of man.
yes, yeah, the Son of Man. Son implies gender.
I know it says son of man, but I didn't put two and two together that it meant that it could be a female. So, like I said, the Bible is fraudulent.
So what do you base your morals on? Your morality. What do you base it on? Like things that you think are right and wrong. What do you base it on? Now, if you're basing your perception on what's right based on God's laws, where do you find God's law then?
Well, I looked it up and it came up with a pretty simple definition of loving thy neighbor as much as you love yourself and as much as you love God. And love God first and foremost.
Okay. Now, what does that mean when it says to love your neighbor? What is love to God?
Don't do unto others what you wouldn't want done to you.
Okay. That's kind of it. You're on the same track. But let me read something to you, right? You might have. My Bible is very delicate. Listen.
I love the conditions. It means you've read it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
you're highlighting.
I'm trying. But this is 1 John 5 and 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep His commandments. So this is how Israelites, we know that we love one another, when we love each other according to the commandments. Now the commandment you're talking about, loving your neighbor, did you know that's in Leviticus 19 and 16 and 17? It is. That's what Christ is talking about. And He said on those two laws, loving God and your neighbor, hang all the law. Remember you said that, right? So if all, okay, actually we're going to get there.
I'm on no.
Yeah, you said no, that's fine. That's fine, we'll get it. That's fine, we'll get it. Because this is why I'm out here, sister. To let you know that the Bible and the gospel is for God's chosen people. That's who it's for. It's not for everybody else. That's why you talking about world peace. I want world peace, but I want us to be in charge under the Messiah. And world peace be that way. I don't want world peace where the white man is raping kids in the back room. You see what I'm saying? That's got to stop. And in order for that to stop, the Messiah has to come back and set everything in order. You see what I'm saying?
So
Cool.
God told me back in the beginning of December to create my own form of government right here and run for president by the end of by Easter, Jesus' resurrection. And then later on, when I was doing more research, I don't remember the actual looked into it. It's like, what? I told my sister, I was like, dude, I don't do drugs. You want to take me to a rehab. You're telling me you're crazy. That I'm crazy. I need help. But you want to take me to a rehab.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe your dream means something different.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, your
Oh,
dream you have. You need to filter it through scriptures.
What's even no? Did I tell you my dream?
Well, you didn't tell me all of it, but you told me basically like you had a dream that you need to start your own government. Things
No. Oh, no. That wasn't true. That part wasn't true. I was awake. I was fully awake. That part was true. And now my dream was this evil one continuously trying to stop me from reaching my answer and my truth.
Okay.
Because I was having that much of a hard time. I knew I wasn't going to convince my sisters, hey, you know what? Something supernatural is happening. The evil one's not wasn't going to allow them to even, you know, yeah. So I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? I literally felt alone. I lost count of how many times they tried to kill me and poison me. Yeah. So, and the first time they tried was just for chilling down at the river. I hadn't even done no. I don't even think that I just moved there, and I was just chilling at the river.
Let me read this to you, right?
Uh-huh.
This is Jeremiah 29:8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you. Neither hearken to your dreams, which ye cause to be dreamed. Every dream is not meant to be believed in follow. Right? Sometimes you'll receive dreams that can throw you off the course. That's why the only thing that's constant you're supposed to follow is the Bible. Right?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why.
yeah, I didn't then. But, well, see, when all that stuff was happening, I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I had to get out of San Antonio
Okay.
and get myself together, get away from these sorcery people. So I went as far as stealing my ex's car.
Okay.
And I drove north. I got all the way to Oklahoma and then realized, what the hell, what am I doing? Let me come back. And so I came back with a clearer mind, clearer thoughts, being able to think because I want to say they or whoever, just overstressed my, yeah, to where I hadn't had a good night's sleep. I don't even know how that. The few hours I did have asleep in the freaking cold in my ex's car made me feel a lot better.
Now, can I be honest with you, sister? I will say this. You might not, you're not crazy. I will say that. But, kids, you have a left-hand spirit on you? Yes. Basically, God's angels can be both good and evil. Right? And he has left-hand spirits, which are the evil spirits, and then the right-hand spirits, which are the good spirits. The left-hand spirits can speak things to you, which can make you believe that you're hearing from God when you're hearing from them.
I thought about that.
And they can mislead you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I do notice you have blonde hair.
Oh, I'm bald.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I understand. But if you have a wig, choose any color but yellow. You know why? I'm going to read this to you. This is Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scowl, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest shall look on the plague of the scowl, and behold, it be not skin, be in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut him up that hath the plague of the scowl 7 days. So in short, blonde hair in the Bible is leprosy. It's leprosy. It's viewed as unclean.
But according to me, I know.
I understand.
Then it doesn't even apply.
But according to you, that's one thing. But according to God, God will see with blonde hair. Especially if you're an Israelite.
Well, let me.
Let's see that.
God never mentioned anything
said it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
you already said it.
That's good one. You're right. You're right. Where right here. Uh-huh.
All right, cool.
So, yes, with reading all of our past and that anger, that hatred, that I don't even know what, like that I am so grateful that I didn't go into depression with reading all the fraudulent, just realizing, like I knew it was in bad conditions, but not as bad as it is, and it continues to surprise me. And like, when is it gonna stop? Like, God, like really? It's just so hidden. It's so hidden.
Well, it's not going to stop until the Messiah returns, which is Jesus Christ, or Yahushua, as the paleo Yahushua. So the letter J is only 400 years old. So how is his name Jesus?
Well, yeah, Jesus is because it's so, but in Arabic, it's Isa, right?
Or Jesus? That's in Greek. But I know it's Isa.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Arabic. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, though.
See, I mean, that's
Okay.
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 My daughter, her name's Evelette Sardine. We call her Eva.
Now I do notice all your things are blonde.
No.
Okay, I'm about to say, get the black ones. Don't get the blonde ones.
Hold on.
Black, red, shit. I'd rather you do polka dot purple.
Don't mind me boobage, but I don't know if I.
So you have a bunch of different hairstyles that you like to wear? That's cool.
I literally have kept it always bald until recently, and when I started wearing them, I just went all out.
If you don't mind me asking, what affliction do you have? You're single.
Like the name of it?
Alopecia?
It says something like Palmaris, Plantaris. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a skin. Yeah.
But definitely when you wear your wigs, get rid of your blonde ones. Alright? Because in the eyes of God, that's no bueno. You know what I'm saying? God don't like that.
I wanted to go back to not wearing one at all.
Okay.
My daughter doesn't like them. I don't like them. I'm not used to it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like it at all.
But if you learn anything else in our conversation, just know that you're supposed to keep the commandments of God. Now, how many commandments are there? The laws of God. They tell you 10. There's 613. Are you supposed to eat pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster? No. It's in Leviticus 11. The dietary law.
If it says we're not supposed to eat that, my way of thinking, it's not my beliefs, my personal beliefs is we're not supposed to eat anything any meat source other than fish.
Oh, so you're a pescatarian?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you're only eating fish, make sure you
Wait.
the fish you do eat has fins and scales,
Oh yeah, why?
because that's the law of God.
What other fish do not have fish?
Catfish and scales.
Yeah.
Catfish don't have scales, but they do have fins. How about shrimp and crab? They don't have fins or scales. But you see why I have to say that. Right? Because the law of God tells you degradation like your computer. Yeah, I get it.
And they don't, and I don't even want to say that they don't have feelings because I think everything has feelings.
Of course.
And I don't see myself. I saw cows the other day, and they were so cute and lovable and colorful, you know, and with so much life in them. I don't see how anyone would be.
But what if God created them to be eaten?
I don't.
Okay, let's see. This is Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 3. Actually, no, we'll start at 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the face are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Don't cows fit that description? They part the hoof, right? Part it, and then they chew the cud, right? They swallow it, then they throw it back up in their mouth, they put it in their stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What did it say again?
Yeah, sure. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
That's good to know that they're giving us permission, but obviously not in the form that we're eating it and they're being mass produced.
No, I am against. Like the concentration camp model of farms, yes, I am against that.
Comes with antibiotics
Hormones, yeah.
because of the condition that they're in. That's
Yeah, I agree. But if you eat only fish, you got to think about fish farms. You see what I'm saying? You can't win. You can't win. Have you seen a fish farm? Basically, the way that water looks, that's the conditions that the fish are all the time. And they're just on top of each other.
No, but I don't believe in the
I know, but I'm saying a lot of the fish that you eat, especially if it's made in America, that's where it comes from.
See, it said with my world peace, all that's gonna stop.
Okay, well, why not have the world peace of the Messiah when he returns?
See, I didn't even know about the second Messiah until I somehow came across it.
I know.
And read. But like, let's say I hadn't read and didn't think that there might be a possibility that I might be the second Messiah. I would have, but God told me, March 30th. As long as it doesn't even matter about anything else. I'm just trying to get this out there. March 30th, God is blessing all the water, all the pools of water around the world and baptizing. So if you believe in Him,
I mean, I'll look for it. But here's the thing. In Revelations, it says that the water's going to be made bitter. So why would God bless all the water for the same people who are still raping and robbing us?
no.
Do they get to use the water that's blessed too?
No. I'm on. Don't get me excited.
Okay.
I'm on. Let me. Woo. No. If they don't believe in God, be careful.
I hope so.
Then there you go.
I hope so.
Then there's your vengeance.
But here's the thing. Where's that in the Bible?
I know.
You gotta find it. Yeah, you gotta prove all things. Let me show you. Let me show you. Prove all things. You can't just say stuff. You gotta prove it.
Well,
This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 20. I'm sorry, 21. Prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. So you gotta prove it. You can't just say it. You gotta prove it.
that's what God told me.
Okay.
You don't believe Him?
Hey.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna be in San Pedro Park, by the way,
Okay.
all day long. I'm God, and I'm hoping that that's how many people come at the San Pedro pool. He said any pool, every pool, apartment swimming pool, because he doesn't want to create both. As long as you believe or put faith in God, you'll be cleansed, and whoever does not get baptized will perish.
Well, Miss Leticia, did I give you a flyer? No, I did. Okay. Make sure you check that out and look into it because you are an Israelite. Okay.
Yeah. No,
All right, but it's
I
been a pleasure.
didn't think so. There was like no way. There's no way. How? But
Can I show you one thing in the Bible real quick?
go.
for you?
Yeah, I know it. there's still so much more I want to share with you. Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, I actually have to get ready to go. Not too much longer. Probably about 10 minutes. I'm not from here. I'm from New Braunfels. Yeah, probably about 40 minutes away from San Antonio.
Hey, yeah. Okay. I mean, and have your reviews from that.
Hmm? Where you can look up our videos and stuff like that. But I'm sure.
Your videos, whose videos?
Group of us, Carl. Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
There is another group of black men that you see hang further down, like down.
Were they wearing
down?
purple and gold?
Yes.
That's IUIC. I know them.
You know them.
They're some good brothers.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't.
They got some things that are slightly different. They might not have been as patient with you as I am. Because I know sometimes we don't do one-on-one most of the time. Most of the time they're talking, with loudspeakers and stuff. But I like to talk to people face to face
Yeah.
and just, normal banter. So
No,
let
well,
me-
I've been talking to them and anyway.
you should listen to them. Next time you talk to them, really talk to somebody.
Well,
Listen
no,
to
I
them.
did.
Have you attended one of their classes?
I watched their videos.
Okay, well that's all I ask, okay? Just watch the videos.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Okay, we'll try some more.
I
Try it.
will.
But this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 4. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So the 10 tribes, or Latinos and Native Indians, y'all comprise the 10 tribes. We are the other 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin. Right? And when I say we, I mean so-called Negroes and the black folks in the West Indies, like Jamaica, Grenada, Guyana, all those places, right? Places where the slave trade
Yeah.
dumped us off in West Africa, right? But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arser. That's what y'all called this place when you first got here. Called it Arser. So y'all are that 10 tribes that came over here where nobody was living. That's why.
Was it Bering Strait?
No, y'all went through the Euphrates. The Euphrates
How?
River.
Where?
Well,
Euphrates?
yeah, over in Africa.
Euphrates. How do the Euphrates River end up over here?
No, like you guys literally went through the Euphrates, went into the greater ocean, and then sailed a year and a half all the way over here to America. You could, that's fine. Have you ever heard of something called Chief Joseph's cuneiform stone? Look it up. Chief Joseph was a Native American Indian who had the cuneiform stone, which is dated from Assyria. And it has this language right here, Paleo-Hebrew on it. And it was basically dated from that region in that time period. Because the people who were enslaved to the Assyrians were your people. Down in New Mexico, y'all have something called the Los Lunas stone, or the Decalogue stone. And it has the 10 Commandments on it, in Paleo-Hebrew. Why would the Mexican man have that in New Mexico? He's an Israelite, that's why.
Well, my logic was that when they were trying to rebuild the temple the second time, first of all, they were trying to rebuild the temple for the fallen angels, so they can reach back to heaven.
When did the angels fall?
I'm not sure. Like, I know my calculations, we've been here about 70,000 years.
Okay, well, I don't want to argue about that. When did the angels fall?
Right before they started building the second temple. No,
Can I show you in the Bible where the angels never fell? No angel has ever rebelled against God. Ever. Even Satan is a servant to God. Okay, we're going to prove that. And this is to my camera. This is why I'm out here. Right? Because we have to prove these things that we've been taught from our enemies. The white man told you that Satan rebelled against God and got away with it. You think, I want to ask you a question. You have kids, right?
Yeah.
If your daughter rebelled against you, what would happen? When she was growing up, like she was really little. If
She
she's
is. She's 12.
okay, if she said, "Mom, I'm not cleaning my room," and she tried to hit you, what would you do? She probably get jacked up, right?
Well, thankfully she never got arrested, but she did rebel already.
Okay.
And now, no, I showed her who's God.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't God do the same thing? Yes. So how could he rebel, Satan, come down here and just spread terror, and God is just sitting there going, damn, I don't know what to do.
Well, because didn't God also say that he was already beaten?
No. The white man told you that. Hold on, let me read it. I'll be show you. Right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so then you still think he's causing heck?
No.
He's the one.
He is. Satan is causing havoc, but that's his job. For instance, Walker, right? Have you ever gone to court for something? You got a lawyer, right? To defend you. Okay, well, say you get caught up on stealing a car. You commit a felony. Not today, but you know what I'm saying. Say, hypothetically, you committed a felony. You're in court. You have a lawyer with you. Even if they have to appoint you, you have the judge up front, and then you have the prosecutor.
It's all fraudulent.
Well, I mean, but just walk with me, right? You have the judge and you have the prosecutor. Satan is the prosecutor. He's accusing you to the judge. Your lawyer is who Jesus Christ is. He's your mediator who defends you from the accusations made by the plaintiff.
No, that guy's fraudulent.
Okay?
That's not.
No, hold on. Let's read it. Don't say it's fraudulent
Yeah.
before you read it in the Bible.
Well, I don't know about.
Because
well,
isn't this the standard that you dictate your Christianity from? Because if you don't, how are you a Christian? Because to be Christian is Christ-like. And the only place Christ is found is in you.
Well, I ran into what a Christian pacifist was when I was trying to look for a government that I wanted to run with. I knew it was something that resembled anarchy. So I looked up anarchy. And then I read what a Christian pacifist was, and that Jesus was a Christian pacifist, and so was Martin Luther King Jr. So, and a lot of other people. I ran with
Can I read you something that shows that Christ was never a pacifist, ever? There's a vision in the Bible where Christ is covered in the blood of his enemies, that he killed with his bare hands. It's in Isaiah 63. Again, the stuff that you believe about Christ, the white man told you that. Because who's Christ coming back to establish judgment on? The entire earth. And who's going to kill personally? We're going to read that right now. I'm not even going to read Job. I'm reading this right now because I think you need to understand who Christ is.
But the second Messiah is not Christ.
The second Messiah is Yahweh or Christ.
I don't think so.
So who's coming back?
I don't think it's a coming back kind of thing. Like, I don't think let's just say, to continue with this theory of mine that I'm the second Messiah. No, absolutely not. I'm not Jesus.
So,
Jesus was son of God, and according to the Jews, I'm the son of man. So I'm just a regular person with the knowledge that God's given me to be able to prove that the whole court system is fraudulent. And every court, I have a friend that's been in prison, going on 5, 6 years, and I've been trying to get him out ever since. And I've tried every which way possible to where the last one was, I wrote to the state commission of juvenile conduct, and no, they sent me a letter back saying that unless I had some proof that the judge was, some sort of conspiracy or fraudulent, any fraudulent work, then they'll be able to do it. So I was like, okay, damn them, damn the state of the commission of juvenile conduct. Let me go back and request the transcripts. And I have the emails between me and this woman. Evil.
well, let me read this first.
Go ahead, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom? Edom is the so-called white man, right? With dyed garments from Basra, Basra is the capital city of Edom in the Bible. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, that I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, in thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. So Isaiah seeing a vision of a man, he's coming back, he's walking toward him. He's covered in red. It looks like red dye or wine. It's on his clothes. And he's asking, why are you covered in red? Right? Verse 3. This is Christ basically talking in this vision. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. That's Christ. Well, where is this Christian pacifist? He's literally covered in the blood of his enemies that he killed by himself. I know you've never read this. That's why I'm out here, sister.
But not, or I wouldn't believe that doesn't, like, I thought, because I only read John,
Yes.
and got Jesus' good works, that's all.
Yeah, but you got to read the rest, sister.
But where does that fall in?
This is one of the visions that Isaiah had of Christ. Because hold on, we gonna go to where Christ comes back. We gonna read Revelations 2.
But that he's covered in, so the covered in blood part is in the future?
Yeah, when he returns. Because there's gonna be a number of things that happen. But sister, I can't teach you all that because there's a lot of basic things you gotta learn first. And I'm not calling you dumb or anything.
No.
But it's a
Oh,
process.
yeah,
You know that.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
process.
yeah.
Right?
But see, let's just go back to the theory.
Uh-huh.
If I am, then the Revelation part doesn't make sense because it didn't happen.
So let's entertain your theory, right? Say you are the Messiah. How are you gonna make the white man stop killing us?
Mark 30?
Okay. What if you don't want to drink the water?
No, drink, just baptize.
Or
just
even-
get in the water. Baptize your parents. It's up to them if they get
So
in.
how about this?
Uh-huh.
After March 30th, that doesn't happen. Can we come back and see? We'll talk about the Bible.
So you mean you're not going to get
Well, no, I'll try it. But here's the thing: if it doesn't come to pass, what does that make it? You have to consider this. That's why.
Well, God gave me 1,000,001 ways to accomplish goals.
Okay, but you're telling me on March 30th,
Yeah.
the water is going to be basically supercharged, right? For the Israelites.
For anyone that, I guess,
Okay.
believes in God,
For anyone, right?
everyone.
Okay, so everyone. Now, say on March 30th, that water down there just stays regular old water.
Not.
Okay, if it doesn't,
Can I already prove it?
sure.
They have a acid hieroglyphic first on the river, downtown, on the wall. I've seen it when I went to the bathroom.
Well, I'm not just talking about here. I'm talking about all over the earth.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna clean it up.
All over the earth
Yes.
by March 30th.
No. I don't know. No, March 30th is just to let everybody know that kind of stuff. Or God's gonna bless the water. And just,
Okay, that's fine. Now, again, so when they baptize themselves, what's going to happen? If I have like a crooked foot, will that be made better?
oh no.
What will it do?
I don't know. I don't know about anything like that. About bleeding or like getting the blind good sight.
Yeah, yeah.
God thing.
So how do I know if the water is blessed? I mean, but I do. Like, how would I know?
He said all pools of water.
Okay. Now, I'm going to try it on March 30th.
You freaking better.
Okay, and now, if it don't work, because I got some ailments, I'm older than I look, right? I've got some ailments. If they don't get fixed, I'm going to come looking for you, Letitia.
Oh, he didn't say anything about fixing health problems.
Am I going to get knowledge? Like, how do I know it worked?
Yes, you will get knowledge. You know how?
Okay. What?
Okay. So we are capable. Everyone is capable of being as smart as we
Okay. I don't doubt you at all.
Uh-huh.
But
And all it is you ask God. Maybe that's how my knowledge came into play. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, as much knowledge as God has given me, has put it in my brain just within the last 3 months is crazy. I've never liked reading. It would always give me anxiety. So all my reading has been done the past 3 months. And it's like I can't get enough of it. You know, and it's not everything I've read. I know for a fact it has to be God that had given me to read because it wasn't no nonsense. It was not no wasting my time. It's all been for a purpose.
okay. So again, if March 30th comes around and things don't play out the way that you've told me, can you come back and see me on a Saturday at 5:30? We'll talk about the Bible,
Yeah.
and you can acknowledge you're an Israelite. Can you do that for me?
Okay. Yeah. I acknowledge you right now.
All right.
So when are you out here?
I'm out here every Saturday between 5:30 and 10 p.m. Typically.
So I'll see you next Saturday. Alright. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm about to close and head on home.
Okay.
I'm hungry and I'm cold.
Yeah. I'm about to go cause some mission.
Okay. Well, be safe.
Always.
And don't stay out here too late.
No.
Don't stay out here too late.
Your name is?
Haya L, but you can call me Kyle. Means the same thing.
Spelled
H-A-Y-A,
H-A-Y.
and then E-L. Haya L. Means the same thing as Kyle. Live with
From
Kyle.
what time?
5:30 p.m. till 10. Oh, I'm sorry, 10. 10. And if I'm not out here at 5:30, I'll be here at 6 because black folks get places late. That's the one thing that is true, okay? I'm not even gonna lie about it. We late to everything. but it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Be safe.
Now, can I read you my petition?
How long is it? I gotta go.
No, it's not long enough.
Okay.
I am Leticia Flores. I'm advocating for the world. I am a Christian pacifist promoting world peace. I am deeply moved by the state of our world. As a Christian pacifist, I believe in the power of peace and love to overcome conflict and division. The world is my home, and it pains me to see violence tearing apart communities, nations, and families. Christian pacifism is not just a personal belief, it is a philosophy rooted in the teachings of Jesus Christ, who advocated the love over violence. This approach has been adopted by many throughout history, from Martin Luther King Jr. to where conflicts are prevalent, according to Global Peace Index 2020 report by Institute for Economics and Peace. Only 13 countries out of 163 surveyed are free from conflict. We need to change this narrative. We need government worldwide to embrace peaceful resolutions over military interventions. We need educational institutions to teach peace building as part of their curriculum. This petition calls on global leaders and policymakers at all levels, local, national, international, to promote peace through policies that reflect Christian pacifism, values such as forgiveness, reconciliation, and nonviolence. Let us create a world where peace prevails over war, love over hate, understanding over prejudice. Please sign this petition.
Okay. Now, can I have a copy?
Yes, you may.
I will take a copy.
Because I called it victorious already, but I still need to.
Okay. Now, how about this? I'll give you a signature. If on the 30th that comes to pass, I'll give you my signature. And I see you again.
I already called it victorious. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But Miss Leticia, be safe.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to sign off here, and I'm about to go home and get something to eat.
Alright. Nice meeting you. Now, you were totally not on my agenda. But I got off on the bus there, went here, and I was gonna say, I shit you not, God obviously has his agenda. And totally me.
Well, before you go, I'm gonna read this one last thing to you because you said you got off the bus and headed right here, right?
Through these buildings that I don't even know.
I'm gonna show you what led your steps here. Because, sister, you're meant to repent and keep the laws of God. That's why you ran into the brothers in purple and gold, and you ran into me, just one guy standing in the dark, right? This is Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. So you saw me, right? And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. And you turn to the right hand and you turn to the left. That's why you're here. So I got you. He led your steps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now that you're here,
Uh-huh.
read the Bible.
Yeah. Sure.
Do you have the Bible at home? Next time you come, I'll have it. Okay? All right, Letitia. Be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. All praise to the Most High God. But, guys, we are going to sign off. I'm going to sign off and salute y'all by saying, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Wada Yahweh Yahushai for allowing us, me and brother Manawashia before we left, to come out and bear witness to our people of the gospel and to bid them to repentance. Kwam Yasharala and death to America. All praises. Yeah, I know that last part, y'all, but hey.